there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to bronze.
I'm moving too far. Get to glass. You're looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get to glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot, yeah, shoot, yeah, shooting, yeah, shooting, shot. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to bronze.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
Good evening. Welcome, everyone. It's Tottenham away. We've got 300 in the building already. Wow. Big up to Sava, Hasper, Mari, Michael, Dan. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Make sure you follow the Football Heritage TV, Hasper TV, the Hotspur TV. Guys, I'm going to begin this one by simply saying this.
Simple. We've got our Tottenham back.
That's right, people. We're back. We are phenomenal. Do you know, this has got to be such a difficult show to do because we won the cup game. We're through to the next round, but my God, was that awful. You cannot take positives from that other than we won. Exactly what Jamie Redknapp and Clinton Morrison said on Sky TV when they did their post-match interview. Guys, look, I'm glad we're through to the next round. I want us to win a cup. I want us to win as many cups as we can. I don't think we're winning anything because that was a championship team and that was one of the worst performances I've seen from Spurs in a long, long time. Bar the last 5 minutes. For 90 minutes, I think we should have been 4-0 down. I think Coventry fucked it. They had the chances to win it. They didn't put it to bed. And we snuck in and we scored. We scored. So I don't know who wants to go first. I don't know how we discuss this game. I mean, we can look at the lineups first. Should we go to the starting lineup and talk about Ange's team selection? Is that a good starting point? So loads of changes, lots of changes. In fact, there's 8 changes. And from what I understood reading online, a lot of fans were like, what are you doing, man? You did this against Fulham last year. And for 90 minutes, that's exactly how it looked. Like the same mistake was being made. Forster came in goal. Dodgy as. Gray started at right back when we had Spence on the bench, an actual right back. People say Gray's a number 6. Well, Gray was playing as a right back. Dragusin and Davies as a centre-back partnership. One ball over the top, time and time again, ripped them open. Udogie came off. The left back came off for Spence, the right back. Weird. Benton, Sarr and Bergvall in the middle. I was hoping to see a lot from Bergvall this game. Didn't see much. Thought Sarr went missing. Odegaard, Solanke and Werner across the front 3. They were dog shit. Odegaard went off injured. Werner stayed on and played even more crap. He went off injured. Solanke, listen, 65 million and you can't do it against a championship team. Big concern. That was the starting 11. On the bench, we had Spence, Porro, Reguilon, Moore, Maddison, Kulu, Johnson and Son. We did win 2-1. We are through. I'm glad we're through. I want to make it clear. I hope we win this competition. Guys, I've got zero confidence after that game. That was a shocker. But what is it, a one-off or was it coming? That's the big question because this is his squad. This is.
I've got something to say about the lineup. For one, yeah, like I thought the midfield selection was the only decent midfield selection out of the 3 positions that we did today. Like I thought on paper, Benton, Sarr and Bergvall would do enough. Like I thought that was the right mix. But then you look at the rest of the pitch, he changed literally the whole back line and the keeper. And that front 3 was just a shambles. Like Werner's shit. Solanke did nothing. And Odegaard showed again he's got no end product. So I would have done something completely different. I would have had at least 3 or 4 more first team players in that team. Because what we normally do at Tottenham, which is I've noticed this over a number of years, Ange just did the same thing every other manager before does too many changes, and then he's chasing the game at the end and brings on the big guns to try and save it. And this time he got away with it. That's what it felt like to me, as like a short summary. Because he brought on Son, Kulusevski, everyone really, like Maddison, any first team player we had that normally starts, we brought them all off the bench to try and win the game because we got to like 1-0 down with like 5 minutes to go. So he saved his skin really. Like
I jumped on Sava's channel at half time. Yeah. And I said on Sava's channel, at half time, he's got to bring on Porro, Kulu, Maddison, and Son. He's got to bring on the big guns. This experiment isn't working. These players aren't good enough. Bring on the big guns and just win the game. Just put it to bed. And I said it a few times. He didn't do it. He brought on Spence. And it got worse and worse until they scored. And it wasn't until he brought them on, we actually looked like there was some hope. And we got lucky with it. So I agree with what you said, mate. I totally agree with what you're saying.
I'm going to say this from starting lineup. Not to say that this kid should start, but I will say this in regards to his career. If I'm Mikey Moore's agent, because they pulled him from an academy game to just have him sit on the bench, as bad as Timo Werner was today, I am talking to my agent and be, bro, can you get me anywhere away from Tottenham? And I said this on the last show. This is the wrong club. This is the wrong club. Any youth to come through our club. We were lucky with Harry Kane. I don't think we, in regards to youth, know a roadmap on how to develop these players, let alone Ange. So that's the one thing I want to just throw out there in regards to Mikey Moore. I would be evaluating my career for his benefit later on. Just want to throw that out there. But I agree with Haz. Like it is the. I was so bored I keep using that word every week. I'm bored. And the performance today was absolutely atrocious. And almost to the point that even if you look at the stats, it was the same thing against Arsenal. So it's almost, there is no difference between the starting 11 and the bench, which is sad because it tells you that our club is in big trouble. There is going to be more pain than light. We're playing.
Mari, can you explain that? What do you mean by the stats between the starting 11 and the bench? What do you mean by that?
Oh no, it's the same. It was the same exact thing in regards of we had the possession, right? We had the possession numbers, but when it comes to shots on target, quad shot, until the last 10 minutes, it was basically the same thing. It's what you and Sava and everybody was saying. We've been figured out. We've been figured out. Let us have the possession because we're going to do dog shit with it. And these teams are looking to counter. Like literally, Coventry should have scored 4 goals.
Can I ask you guys something?
If I'm Brentford, I'm doing the same blueprint on Saturday. The same exact blueprint in getting a result against Spurs. It's the same rinse and repeat.
Guys, can I ask you a question? You know, in the first half, it looked to me like once or twice Coventry got in behind and just either a poor touch or just a quicker pass, maybe they would have got more joy. I felt second half that Coventry's manager had directed them, hit that ball long more. They're there for the taking. I felt they came out with more energy for that long ball as if it was part of their halftime team talk. Did you get that vibe as well, or was I just seeing things?
Generally, in my opinion, they came out with a lot more energy, not only in like the long ball, but also the pressing, the generally, I think they wanted it more. I kid you not, when I watched us, I just felt like with the first few minutes of the second half, we got sucker punched and then never recovered, right? It's like a boxer that just gets hit and then he's dizzy for the rest of the round, right? Or whatever. I felt like we were that basically, right? And they kept on, punching us, and we somehow avoided a knockout. And I have no clue how. It's like, I don't know if you guys watched Usyk versus Fury.
Tyson Fury.
Like 1 or 2 months ago, right? Where Usyk landed a big one on Fury, right? But he just couldn't finish him off. And I know in the end Usyk won, so that's not part of the comparison, right? But only the round where he actually landed a punch, and Fury was basically almost falling over, but he actually didn't, right? I think that's what happened today.
For me, it was more worrying.
We got tactically outplayed. We got tactically outplayed by a fucking Coventry manager.
We couldn't even play. Michael, we couldn't even play.
Changes.
Sorry, say again, Hans?
Coventry made 7 changes, apparently. That's what Sky Sports was saying.
Coventry made a lot of changes. Yeah, that was Coventry's B team as well, practically.
And they still went lost at shit. That's what this one.
Do you know the worrying thing? Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. My dog's decided to be a pain in the ass. Do you know the worrying thing for me, right, is, well, I've got a whole list, but I'll go through a worrying thing for me, is their manager, like Sel said, their manager literally took 45 minutes of in-play against Tottenham to realise just how crap we are, yeah, in terms of a high line and one ball over the top does us. In that second half, I thought Brandon, I always get his name mixed up, Brandon Asante Thomas or Thomas Asante. I thought him, Haji Wright, and the other guy, and Basante, and the other one called Cordolo in midfield, or Idrona. I thought they were all excellent. I thought whenever they counter-attacked us, they looked the Premier League team. Their players, they looked strong. They looked powerful. They looked like men. When I watch our midfield of Bentancur, Sarr, Bergler, I thought that they all look like boys. I'm going to group Bentancur in with that. I'm bored of this guy now as well. Sorry, I'm bored of everyone talking about how good this guy is. He's shit as well. I'm saying it for what it is. him and Sarr are so bad, game in, game out, and every game they keep starting. But yeah, Mark Robins, good manager, very good manager. He's done well wherever he's been, right? And figured us out in 45 minutes. And you're thinking to yourself, come out at half time. We should have been the team that had the bollocking. We should have come out, dominated that game in the second half. Someone like Bentancur has got to put their foot on the ball and go, right, I'm controlling this game. And they come out and they dominate. And listen, yeah, we've won, yay, blah, blah, blah. Mate, this is one of the worst managers I've ever seen in a dugout at Tottenham. I truly believe this manager I don't think he's ready for championship level football. Anybody now that is saying, oh my God, give him a chance, it will click. What? What will click? It is shocking. 5-yard passes, all 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. You're having to bring on, let's be fair, Maddison and Kulu changed that game when they came on, right? You're having to bring on Maddison and Kulusevski against a Coventry team who have won one game all season, made 7 or 8 of their own changes for the game, and we're having to bring on Maddison, Son and Kulu to rescue the game for us. That is embarrassing. And then he's just standing there like this. Ange just stands there like this. Yep. No emotion, no barking of orders, doesn't try and change anything. Mate, I hate this manager. I'm saying it not as a person, not personal. I hate him as a manager. I think he's one of the worst I've ever seen. And if anyone rates him, this is on you. Not this result. What is about to happen at this football club is on those people, because this manager is shit. Shit. Get out my club. Out. No airs, no graces, no sitting on the fence. Get out. He is shocking. I'm sick of sorry, I'm ranting. Sorry. Who do you want then? I don't care. Stop with who can we get as manager? Stop. I don't care. First things first, this manager is shit.
Do you know, it's funny.
Shit, I would rather Mark Robins. Get out with your bad football. Oh, we've got possession. It is absolutely disgusting how bad this manager is.
Absolutely.
Murray, someone said to me, yeah, go on.
No, just to add on to it, I echo the same sentiments. After today, I was Ange out, but I'm 100%. It's done. It is not going to work. I'm like full blown Ange out, and to that regard, my Mason could come in, and I'll take it. I'm like done. I echo that same sentiments.
Do you know? Didn't no one really think?
Dan, I just want to say, right, then you go, because you haven't spoken. Someone on Twitter said to me, people that want Ange out, what's the plan? Tell me, who's coming next? I demand, right, his words, I demand you explain it. So I replied, I jumped in, I said, mate, if my house is on fire, why must I give you a plan to justify that I want the fire to be put out? If I want the fire to be put out, why must I give you a plan on how to put it out? I know I want it to be put out.
No. What you're saying is you want the fire put out. Let's not worry about how we're going to rebuild the house. We'll do that afterwards. We'll get the insurance money. We'll do that afterwards.
Yeah, and they want the plan to rebuild the house at that point.
Shall we use water? Should we use foam? Should we piss on it?
All of it.
Should we blow? I mean, sorry, Dan. Go for it.
No, for me, didn't really no one see what was coming there.
Yep.
I mean, I was speaking to Dietrich's while the game was on, also watching the Man City game. Lot better to watch. And it was obvious. It was obvious what was going to happen. I said to him, "Watch. We do not deserve this game in any means or manner. We have been shambolic. The manager is just doing what the manager does. He made exactly the same mistakes that he did last season with making 7, 8 changes, something like that. So he obviously isn't very good at learning, is he? But we did win the game because I just thought we are going to win this game because it's going to be one of those games where it's literally criminal that you win it. You know, when the other team just gives it its all, deserves to win it, misses all the chances, and all of a sudden loses it in the last minute. Like what happens to us a lot. And it was, to me, it was just obvious what was going to happen. As soon as we got that one goal, their hearts would basically hit the floor like, oh my God, we should already be 4-1 up. And then we'd get that last second winner. That's just bought him a bit of time, but it's all it is. Bit of time. He ain't going to last much longer. He's obviously not learning. He's obviously not adapting. We still got to play some serious teams soon. That was only Coventry, but I'm still happy we won. We're in the next round.
You know, can I ask you guys, right? Be honest, right? Do you feel happy? Because I don't.
No.
I don't.
I'm relieved, not even happy. I'm just relieved.
Relieved.
I'm not even relieved. I am embarrassed. Like
embarrassed.
I am embarrassed to fucking watch. I'm embarrassed, and I feel bad for myself for wasting 90 minutes of my life watching what happened today. And by the way, because people are asking why didn't Mike Moore get a sniff? Because we were losing 1-0 until the 82nd minute, and he didn't want to risk putting a kid on.
Michael, I told everyone he's not playing.
Yeah.
I've explained what's going on. People don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it.
I was deluded, right? I was hoping that we are going to be cruising in that game and Mikey Moore will get a run in. I actually wanted to see the guy, right? I actually wanted to see the guy playing against the championship opposition, but we couldn't because we had to bring on 5 starters to save the game against Coventry. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. It's I don't know how else to put it, right? Like, I don't know. I've been like I don't know what to say. Honestly, I'm just speechless after that.
Look how embarrassed he is. I'm so sorry we won Coventry. I'm so sorry.
Exactly. That's my point. I sincerely feel bad for all 12 Coventry fans that were in that stadium.
It's not you, it's me. I'm so sorry.
It was criminal, wasn't it? That's why it just had it written all over it, because it was one of those criminal sides of football that happens. To me, it was obvious what was going to happen.
And the Telegraph, right? I'm watching Sky Sports News, right? And they've just gone to the back pages of the newspapers for tomorrow. And one of them here's got a picture of Brennan Johnson as he scored. He's Ange's trophy dream alive, only just. And you know, we're like, hang on, we just scraped past Coventry in like the second round of the cup. We're talking about Ange's trophy dream.
Have you seen Sky Sports' headline? Have you seen Sky Sports? Brennan Johnson, late winner, keeps Spurs in 4 trophy competitions.
What?
Go on Sky Sports.
Bro, it's not lying, is it? It's not lying, is it?
They are taking the piss.
Danny's taking the piss, isn't he?
But technically, they're not lying, are they?
Yeah, technically.
Let's say something insensitive. All through Twitter, and this is where I say that we are not a big time club. Actually, I'm going to hit up 2 points. Number one, I'll get this point out the way. Fraser Forster, aka Frankenstein, at a big club is our backup keeper. That is absolutely atrocious. For a so-called big club, that we have Fraser Forster as our backup keeper. Terrible on the ball. I mean, there's nothing more that I can say but unacceptable. That's the first point. The second point is big club. I'm sorry, but yes, Johnson scored the game winner. Let me read you this. This was our match winner, Brennan Johnson. Look what people have done to him. He didn't even want to celebrate after all that crap he received from fans. Other than making fun of him, every fan or analyst had a right to criticize his game. You're at Tottenham Hotspur. You're at a big club. When you're at a big club, football, basketball, football, you are prepared to take criticism. You're prepared to get praise. You're prepared to take criticism. It's no different than playing for Real Madrid. You're at a real big club. You're 23 years old. right? Actually, Real Madrid is a little bit more pressure. But you're prepared for that as an athlete. You're 23 years old. You're not 16 or 17. My advice to Brendan Johnson is, you know what? Put on your big boy pants and just play. Like, everybody, Brendan Johnson, see, this is payback for
Murray, he's a rubbish football player. He wasn't even special at Nottingham Forest. He's lucky he's at Spurs, and he's just another Danjuma. He's another NG. He's nothing special at all. He was crap for 90 minutes. What did he do? He played the whole game. What did he do the whole game?
He was horrible to that goal. He was horrible. He deserved the criticism. And our fans are so weak. Oh, it's abuse. It's abuse. I'm sick and tired of people saying things are abuse when it's not abuse, right? I am a counselor, right? I counsel people who have gone through abuse. What he's going through is not. He was upset that he was getting criticized whatsoever. Yeah, a couple of people go overboard, right? Yeah, deactivate your Instagram. That's great, fine and well. But you're in the position where you're going to criticize. You're in a position where you are going to be scrutinized because you're at a supposedly big six club. This is Tottenham. If you can't handle it, then you know what? Go to a championship club.
No, I think you're taking this out of proportion, and I'll defend Johnson. I'll defend Johnson on this one. Yeah, there's a difference between criticizing someone because how they play, and I'm the first one to say if you play shit, you deserve to be told. If you can't handle it, then that's your problem because they all want to be told when they're being good. But some of the stick he did get on there weren't abuse about how he played. It's like some of the stick that people get on there. It wasn't just about how he played.
Dan, everybody, King gets it. LeBron gets it. Like,
but it doesn't make it right, does it? It doesn't make it right.
I get that. It doesn't make it right, but you're going to get it. You're at Hendrick is getting it. You know, before he scored a goal. Vinicius, right? Brazil. He's been a failure with Brazil. He's getting it. It comes with the territory. It's not a shock. It's going to happen. I'm not saying it's right, but you have to have thicker skin. You have to have thicker skin. I'm sorry. You're a professional football player. It's going to happen. I'm sorry if I sound insensitive, but it comes with the territory.
Do you know what? I don't think they should be allowed on social. I think pro footballers, the club should recommend to them that they're not on there at all. I don't
it would
see
be helpful for them.
I don't see what good comes from it. Let's be fair. You got James Maddison post start stuff. And then you got Neil Mopai doing his taking the mick. Whichever club you support, whoever you hate, that other person gets abuse. And it's like they're asking for, I'm not saying Brendan Johnson did. For me, to play your career, don't have a personal page, right? For me, this is only my opinion. Don't have a personal page. Do it all when you're finished. Same with writing books, things like that. Wait till you finish your career. For me, concentrate on your football. Don't worry about your social media. Block that out. Paid your money. And do what he did tonight. Listen, I'm not saying he was good tonight. He wasn't good at all. But do what you did tonight. Get put through on goal, score goals, shut everyone up that way. But the problem we've got is, as a fan base now, we're going to... Look, we were 1 goal away or 4 minutes away, whatever, from a penalty shootout and potentially going out. And straight away, what's changed now is everyone's going, we're still in the cup. It's fine. We've won. That could kick us on for the next game. But my concern isn't that we would have gone out or would have won the game tonight. It's just how bad we look. Like, I keep hearing that, his style of play is good. I can see it, people keep saying. I can see what's changed. Our pressing, our pass. I think it looks worse than it's ever looked. I think we look clueless going forward. Like, until Coventry pushed up towards the end, which was crazy, but until they pushed up and allowed us in behind them, for both goals, we didn't have any clue how to get behind them. We didn't create anything really. It was so lackluster that I need somebody with real common sense. I need someone with real common sense to sit me down and say, this is what we like about Ange, because his personality is shit. Let's be brutally honest. Do me a favor, Stel, just quickly, by the way, that R9 person in the chat, was the one talking about my wife yesterday. Just so you know, just keep an eye on it. Don't
No,
block
just
them.
ban him.
Just keep an eye
No,
on
I
it.
banned him. I banned him.
I don't mind. Call me what you want, but my wife's lovely. She puts up with this, right? But do you know what I mean? It's lackluster. His personality is non-existent now. He's moody. He stands on the touchline, doesn't change anything. He's snapping at reporters. Yeah, his tactics are getting worse and worse by the game. And I don't know if any of you saw my show, right? But somebody sent me a stat while we were playing that Coventry's first team played Watford at the weekend. Watford had 18 shots in the game. Watford, right? Coventry then make 7 or 8 changes. And we, in the first half, I think we had, was it 1 shot in the first half?
No,
maybe
0 shots.
Zero shots in the first half. Right.
0.
But yet still I'm getting people telling me this guy's good. It's going to click. It's going to work. I'm starting to think that I'm dumb. I'm starting to think that I'm dumb. I've never seen football before in my life and that I'm missing something really obvious with this guy. Because I think I'm going to say it right now, I think he's the worst manager I've ever seen at Spurs. Worst.
Worse than Nuno, do you think?
His stats are worse than Nuno's.
Oh, okay. I'm not only asking because I keep
No.
in bracket. Yeah.
Honestly, look at what Nuno is doing with Nottingham Forest and what he was doing with Wolves.
Look at the budget Ange has been given as well, though. The budget is
exactly.
He's
nearly 400 million.
I think the 400 million.
And look at that front three tonight.
You know what's the most shocking thing for me with that 400 million? I don't know what we spend it on. Like,
crap.
Where is this 400 million?
Go to the toilet in your house and you'll find it.
Michael, it's
Mate,
like when my wife.
I wish.
It's like when my wife comes home from shopping. She'll be like, "Oh, I spent 300 quid," and she's got like a little bag. I'm not on what? Oh, just this thing I need. You're like, what you done? That is Ange. Look at that forward line today.
Sava, you know what happened today, and and I know it's like harsh comparing it to Arsenal, right? But Coventry did today what Arsenal were disciplined enough not to do, which was open up, just walk out of their penalty box. Arsenal were super disciplined when they played against us, and all they did was knock long balls past our defense and cook us on the counter and score set pieces, right? Coventry today, I think the game got to them. After we scored, they opened up and allowed us in again, right? And I think this is the worst mistake that they did. And if they didn't, as you said, I have no clue if we are ever capable of opening them up. Pat, you are making a lot of noise. I don't know if you're moving.
Right, I'm muted. It's okay.
Yeah.
But Michael, how many chances did they miss though? How many chances did Coventry miss?
No, Sava, that's my point. They played exactly as they should.
Coventry had 15 shots. We had 9. They had 5 on target. We had 4. Clear-cut chances were equal. So, and we had 70% possession, and they dominated the creative chances and shots.
That's my point, right? That's my point. They played a perfect game until like the 82nd minute or 83rd minute. And if they didn't change for the last 10 minutes, they would have won. Like they had plenty of chances to cook us on a counter. I don't know how they missed some of the chances, right? I am like 100% serious when I say they should have been 4-0 up before we scored the first goal, right? And I think the only thing that happened is that they aren't as disciplined because they are a championship side. With all due respect, because they just cooked the fuck out of us in that game. But because they are a championship side and they don't have enough discipline, they just opened up and allowed us twice in behind.
Michael, the mistake they made at the end.
This is the only reason.
If they stopped trying to play out from the back and just sent it long and wide and held the ball in the corners and managed the game, they probably would have won it. There's a super
that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah, they completely mismanaged it. Henry Thong, thank you for being channel member 17 months. Chrysler Scorpion Nyland. You want Levy and Ange out, but you will not say who you want in. I know you wanted Arnie Slot. Can I just? I'll answer this if we can go around. Christopher, I don't care who the manager is because whoever the manager is, they will fail under this owner, right? As long as Levy's chairman, you can put Pep here, he will fail. But you cannot tell me there is not a better manager in the world who can bring in a better quality of player for 365 million pounds spent, and to not invert the fullbacks, which doesn't work. And when you've got a championship team that know to play a long ball, and you're playing Dragusin and Ben Davies as your centre backs, and you are getting caught out that you can't adjust that tactic, don't tell me there isn't a manager that can't do that. Because if managers can suss how to play against us, that means there's managers that know how to stop that from happening, because that's how you identify weakness. So if you can identify weakness, that means you know how to counter it. He doesn't do it. We got caught out time after time after time against Coventry. I'll tell you what, I don't know if you guys have watched Ipswich this year or Nottingham Forest, who are going to be in a relegation battle, but watch how they play. If that was Ipswich or Nottingham Forest tonight, they would have beaten us. They would have beaten us. I'm telling you, they would have beaten us.
Yeah.
So,
And by the way,
if anyone else wants to answer this, go for it. But I just don't get it.
Krister, I want Elon Musk and Thomas Tuchel. Fine. Like, are you satisfied with that answer? Mm-hmm. I want fucking Bill Gates and Thomas Tuchel. I don't know, whoever else you want to pick, a millionaire, basically, who has more ambition to fucking do something with this club. Does this answer satisfy you? Do I have to, like, say what kind of person or a company I want to take over Spurs? Like, as the boys said earlier in the show, right? Do we have to give you a plan of rebuilding a house that is on fire, right? Put the fire out first, right? And it's not only the manager, it's everything. Like, this game is, for me, this game is the culmination of the last 5 years, right? It's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. The quality of the players gets down. The quality of the managers gets down. The quality of the recruitment is getting down. Like, everything is going down.
Michael, do you remember we had Poch, right? He could attack and he could defend. Then we got Nuno, which was quite defensive. Then we got Mourinho, which was ultra defensive. Then we got.
Yeah, but he also could attack. He also could attack. We were scoring goals. I know he had played,
we were, but Spurs fans want this illusionary Tottenham way. And then we got Conte, who was pragmatic. I just want a manager that can attack, but knows how to defend as well. Like,
that's all I want.
We just get someone that can do both.
I mean, out of choice, I'd want the Sporting Lisbon manager personally.
Yeah, Ruben Amorim.
Though I doubt we'd get him, we'd have more chance of getting him next season, I reckon. So what I'd do personally is go and get Thomas Tuchel, who hasn't got a job at the moment, and say, right, mate, there's 4 million, do us till the end of the season. Because I'm sure if you think about it, this season is quite easily to turn around. Very easy to turn around. You can't say 4th place is out the window or anything yet, unless we stay with Ange.
I can.
So someone like Thomas Tuchel comes in. Well, if we win 2 games, we're right up there again, basically, depending on other results. We're not that far behind.
But that's all. It's all very 1 or 2 games. I'm looking at the bigger picture. This club is a mess.
But I'm saying, get a decent manager in there, Tuchel, for the season as such, so we can then plan ahead for next season to get the manager we actually want, not the 7th or 8th one on the choice, who's never even managed in a big league in his life, and let Tuchel rescue the season for us, which I think he's got more than enough quality to do it, because I think we got the right players for what he would want, and basically take it from there. That's pretty much how I'd go for it.
I just think that even without a big name, right? Even I'll come to this in 1 sec. Thanks, Stel. Even without a big name, I think there are managers out there that pound for pound just do their job and do it really well. No frills, no chaos, no temper tantrums in
like Brentford's manager.
Like Brentford's manager, Thomas Frank. Pound for pound, watch how much shit this guy has to put up with. Top players leaving. Players like Tony with whatever he was doing. Now players out injured for the season. Look at their budget. Look how small their stadium is, right? And at the end of the day, gets on with it. He's really good with the media. His team is really well organised, really well set up. They're really good when they counter. And he buys players for like 15 million here, 20 million there, 5 million here, right? Why can't we get a manager that just does that? I'm not saying, right, and this is what I hate, guys. When people say to me, oh, you want this manager out, who's going to come in and win us a league? Whoa. hang on. I've not said sack this manager because he ain't winning a league. I'm a Spurs fan. I don't ever think about winning a league. I just want a manager, like Stel said. It should be fairly simple. Yeah? Don't defend on the halfway line and stop playing 5 million passes that don't lead to anything. Just do your job. And that Billy Horrocks guy, right, that talks about people wanted Conte out because he's negative, but now we've got an attacking manager. This myth needs to stop. This myth that we're this great attacking football team. We don't ever look like scoring goals for this great attacking football team. No goalkeeper. Like, what did Pope have to do against Spurs? Anyone think of any really great saves Pope made? Maybe one?
No,
right?
zero.
Madison shot, right? Madison shot was the only thing that he had to do.
What did Raya have to do?
Nothing.
Right? What did the Coventry goalkeeper tonight, other than the 2 goals, what did he have to do? Coventry's keeper.
Kulusevski shot, right?
Right. Coventry's keeper.
Just looking for something.
Yeah.
Davies headed.
Yeah, but in this game, Coventry's keeper should be making 15, 16 saves and should be man of the match. We're not an attacking team. This myth needs to stop that this guy plays good football. Everyone in my chat, I had 1,100 watching the game tonight, which was mad. Normally they bugger off and I only have about 300-400 watching. I had 1,100 watching the game tonight and nearly every comment from everyone was, this is boring. This is rubbish. He's a fraud. The football is shit. The football is not shit. It's not good. We have to stop this.
We got him.
Yeah. We have to stop these lies, man. We have to stop these lies.
Don't good teams win games though? Like when they're playing really shit and being totally dominated and everything. Isn't that what the good teams do?
That's the big. I don't like this.
I think.
I don't know. I'm just asking a question.
No, Dan, you make a good point, but I think that's when you're playing a team that's also good. We played Coventry. No disrespect to them, but
oh, totally. But when you're being totally dominated in a game and you're at your worst and you're playing absolutely shit, and all of a sudden you can just pull a 2-1 win out of it, like other big teams.
But when the opposition players aren't nowhere near the value or level that yours are, I think.
Oh, we should be destroying that game. We should be destroying that.
If we got dominated by Man United at Old Trafford in a couple of weeks, and then we won it 2-1, I'd say, Dan, I agree with you. But because it's Coventry, I'm like, there is no excuse under any circumstance. Unless we went down to 9 men, then I'd say, hold on, it's 9 men. But we had a fully strength squad to pick from, except for Richarlison and Basuma.
The centre forward today for Coventry, right? Do you know how old he is?
No idea. He's a kid, isn't he? He's a young lad.
He's a kid. He's 19 years of age, right? And he scored 6 goals in his entire career, right? 5 for KV Mechelen, who I believe, sorry if I've butchered that, but I believe are in Belgium, and 1 for Cannes, right? And today, who looked like the £60 million striker? I'm not saying he looked 60 million, but do you know what I mean? Like, again, him, right? You look at Brandon Thomas Asante. 2 years ago, he was playing for Salford and he got 4 goals in a year at Salford. And he's playing today. Look at him and then look at Werner and Johnson. Like, it's mad how bad some of these players are. And our fans will just defend them through thick and thin. And I've snapped. I've had enough. I don't care what anyone out there thinks of me. Loads of these players are shit. This manager has wasted 400 million. And it would be the first time in my life being a Spurs fan that I would congratulate Daniel Levy for sacking a manager. If he sacks this guy, I will do a stream praising Daniel Levy. I don't care. I will, because this manager is taking us nowhere and quick. Sorry.
Do you know, I think when it comes to these things, right, a good indicator of there being a massive problem is when fans are divided. Fans are divided on Ange. There's no doubt. Fans are really divided, and more are moving towards the Ange Out kind of side of things. Fans are divided on Werner. I think most fans now agree Werner's crap. Fans are divided on Johnson. They're split on Solanke. They're not sure about Basuma. They're not sure about Romero. There's like fans are split. When it comes to the board, it's the same. I remember when we had Poch, we weren't divided on our starting 11. We weren't divided on the manager. No one was saying Levy out. It hasn't been like that since 2019. Since 2019. And now, the only difference between this and Conte is that the manager isn't blowing it up in the media. Conte blew it up. He hated his job. He fucking hated his job. Ange's super happy to be here, isn't he? Ange's loving being here.
I think Lee makes a good point in the comments.
I'm sorry. Guys in the chat, please leave Julie Turner alone. And let's stay away from questioning who she is, what's what. Just leave her alone, or you're going to get banned. All right. So
everyone's opinions are allowed in the chat, guys. Everyone's opinions are allowed, as long as you're not racist, discriminative,
sexist. So please,
or if you're Ange, you're not allowed in the chat.
Ange, or you're calling me a paedophile, you're not allowed. Oh yeah. But did you kind of like we're not? Do you know what? Ange is on such a tightrope. I feel like he's bought himself another couple of games after tonight. He's bought himself another 3-4 games, maybe.
Another week.
I mean, the thing that just really does make me laugh is people seem to think that we want this to happen in the aspect because we want to be right. No, I just want the manager out of the club because I think he's a shit manager. Give him enough. I just don't see us going nowhere with him. If I could just have that one bit of faith that he could adapt to Premiership, I know I've said it over again, then I could give him time. No, he can't. When you're ill, what do? Do you wait for it to either go away or get better, or do you go to see the doctor to get the medicine for it? Give it a day or two, and it definitely ain't getting better. You then go to the doctors, don't you? But we don't seem to want to go to the doctors. We'd rather turn something like a cold into flu or whatever, and then where does it go from there? It's the ones who are saying like we dominated and should have won that one with Leicester. We absolutely smashed Everton. Yes, we did. We dominated against Newcastle. We dominated Arsenal because of all the possession. And yet people just can't see we're only getting possession because teams are letting us get possession.
Yeah.
I just don't like the manager. I want us to win. I want to be wrong. I want Werner to score 20. I want Johnson to score 15. I want Ange to go on a run where he wins 15 games. But it ain't going to happen. That's
Dan, do you know what? This word dominated is being misused. By the way, Chris, thank you for your super chat again. He says, I agree with you guys, but can we realistically get Levy out? That's the difficult part. Bro, that's a completely different conversation. That's a whole show on its own. Can we realistically get Levy out? I'll do a show on it. Listen, next week I'll do a show on it. Just for you, I'm going to do one.
For the 5,000th time.
You'd be surprised what you can do on the dark web these days. Only takes a few bitcoins.
Good old crypto. You know when people say dominated, yeah? What they're doing is they're just looking at possession and saying we dominated you. That's not. We're confusing having the ball more than the opposition with domination. Yeah. Domination is when you boss every aspect. Look at the corners in this game. Equal. Clear-cut chances. Equal. Shots taken. We lost. Shots on target. We lost. So we didn't dominate. Dominate is when you've got, let's say, 10 stats and 7 or 8 are all in your favor. You can say, look, we actually dominated them. We just look at the possession and we say, look, we dominated them. That word domination is not what it doesn't correlate with possession. There's many things that need to align for you to dominate someone. It's like business. We dominated them in business. How? We beat them in sales, but they made more profit. They've got lower expenses. They've got more customers than you. How have you dominated? Because they're looking at one metric. Possession isn't domination, man. It can't just be.
They keep playing on, but that's what people. That's the only thing that the people play on because
they're thick. They're thick, Dan. It's just thick, or they assume the people they're telling this to are thick, and they're going to believe it.
For me, it's like this football is not effective. People bang on about how it's having possession, but we're not being effective in possession anyway. So the teams with less possession than us are more effective than us, clearly, because we've lost more games than we won. I mean, it's not rocket science. So, and like you just showed the stats tonight, they had less possession than us, but they had more shots than us, more shots on target. Like you said, most of the metrics were in
Same
their
clear
favour.
cut chances, same number
Yeah,
of corners
yeah.
it has.
They
They
had
matched us.
30%
And in some
possession,
areas
and
they
they had
beat us.
67 or something, was it? Something like that. So it's
Yeah.
for me, this football is not effective. Like that's my qualm. It's like I hate the tactics because apart from the fact he doesn't adapt them, I think the tactics themselves are completely wrong. Like they're so exposed, and now attacking wise, which everyone says apparently we're really good at, and we play attacking football, it's just fucking boring and it's shit. Like I'm just.
Did you hear what Ange said in his post match interview? He said there's no quick fix. Look, here it is. There's no quick fix.
I watched the interview. He's embarrassing.
Yeah, he made some very, very interesting comments. As you,
By the way, he said that Odegaard's injury will be a long one, right? So it's
not like we're missing anything.
No. My point is the window's already looking good, isn't it, lads? Yeah. That all
Werner out, Odegaard.
All the depth we've brought in, and now we are left with two wingers. Yeah.
If Werner and Odegaard are out, who are the wingers then? Brennan Johnson,
Son and Johnson, and Kulusevski.
Son can't play left wing, mate. Son
but he's
cannot
going
play
to.
left wing.
He's going to. Can we be honest here as well, right? Listen, I keep hearing from loads of people and from Ange that there's no quick fix. It's going to take time. I'm sorry, but everyone's talking as though he's just taken over the football club. Everyone's talking like this guy hasn't had nearly £400 million, free transfer windows, and hasn't got what on paper is a very good selection of defenders. Again, I brought this up earlier in another chat. I think you were actually in the panel, Mick, on Irish Hotspur. Was you on? It was, yeah. And there was someone in the chat, and I'll call him out. I don't mind. He's a nice guy. Tottenham Logic TV. I'll call him out, and he's welcome to come on my channel. Nice guy. But everything he was saying to me, it's like he's not listening. Like, name me. I said, why does Emery not need 2 years? He's an anomaly. All right, what about Eddie Howe? What's Eddie Howe done? Well, I don't know. Maybe he took a team from rock bottom to Champions League in 18 months, whilst upskilling people like Fabian Schär, Jacob Murphy, Longstaff, Willock, Almiron. Right? I was like, maybe that. Oh, and you think Eddie Howe would win us things? It's like, no, I never said that. Like, people don't listen. I never said they would win things. But the difference is Unai Emery, right, went into Aston Villa, picked up a team who was 17th, right? All our fans told me that none of their players get in our 11. He took that team from 17th in the first season into the top half, and in the second season gets them 4th, right? Whilst going 17 games, I believe, in the Conference League as well. Why does this manager not constantly need to be told it will click soon? Give it time. This manager's gone in there, no nonsense. He's bought men that suit his system. By the way, no one Villa have signed has been, oh my God, wow, has it? Like sensible signings, but no one's been a £100 million footballer that's changing the game. He's bought grown men, suit his system. He's getting the best out of them. They don't play a ridiculous high line, right? And they finished 4th. They've started this season brilliantly again, 3 wins out of 4, and their only defeat was to Arsenal. And they just won convincingly in Europe. I look at the two managers and go, that's the difference between a top manager who knows what he's doing and a manager that has never managed in a top league before. The levels are insane. The levels. No, Julie, sorry, I'm not having this. I'm not having this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Oh, not this conversation.
We're not doing this conversation again,
No.
right? Levy wouldn't know who Mickey van der Ven is. You think Levy's sitting at home watching the Bundesliga? No, right. Anyway, let me get back to my point. I'll wrap it up. This is the problem, guys. Other clubs are picking sensible managers that are coming in and getting on with it. When we pick a manager, we want to tell the world that all our players are brilliant. Like everyone who goes on Sky Sports, 8 of our 11 gets into Arsenal's. 8 of our team gets into Man City. But then the moment we lose, but Ange needs time because the players aren't his or they've only... guys, Solanke is the only person starting this year that wasn't at the football club last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That wasn't in the first 11.
So how is
he looks bang average, by the way?
It does,
Bang
but
average.
my point is still how when people are going, it needs time to gel. This team had more time on the training pitch last year than any other Spurs team has ever had because we weren't in Europe. We weren't in any cup competitions. Why have they not gelled?
Right, Sav, let me ask you a question, right? In your opinion, and everyone else, feel free to jump in on this. I know it's a combination of both, but what do you think is the bigger problem? If you just had to pick one, is it the tactics or is it the failure to bring in the Ezes, the Elises, the Zubamendis, the Kvaratskhelia, players that actually do a good job? Is it the transfer window that's fucked us, or is it Ange's tactics? Which one do you think has had the more negative impact on what we're seeing right now?
For me, it's the tactics. Whilst the window was shit, it wasn't the best.
I think it's
but for me, I have to go with the tactics. I mean, just with the players we have, we should be playing a different way. And not only that, I think the tactics itself, like his actual structure of the team, is just fucked. I hate to use that word, but it's just fucked.
I personally think that even though this window has been underwhelming, I still think this team is better than what we are seeing. Listen, I know that plenty of people will say, "Oh, your defense conceded 60 goals last season, right?" But was it because of the quality of the players? Like, I'm not sure, right? We struggle with creating chances, right? But is Maddison bad? Is Son really that bad? Is Kulusevski that bad?
Agreed.
To not create any chances, right?
Agreed.
I know, as I said, this window has been underwhelming, but at this point, I look at how we play, and I think the first thing we should fix is how we play, not the way not the type of players we brought in, right? It would have definitely helped if we had Eze and Tony and someone else, right? Instead of Odobert and Solanke. I get that, right? But I still think if we had Eze and other guys and we played the way we played with the tactical setup we do right now, I still think we would struggle. Because
Michael, do you know what? I've been arguing for weeks that I think it's the quality of the players more than anything that's going to let us down. But after tonight, I think I'm shifting towards the tactics being more the problem. And I shall tell you why. He started Archie Gray at right back, who everyone has told me is going to be a number 6. He's a number 6, okay? And we've got Jed Spence on the bench. And I'm thinking, right, this has got nothing to do with Levy now. Why isn't Spence starting, especially when you've dropped him from the Europa Cup squad? This guy isn't going to play in Europe. So now I'm thinking, I don't get what the manager's doing here. Then Spence comes on, and as a fullback, inverting like he wants them to do, he inverts, gets on the end of a pass, scores the equaliser, and then I see him track back down the flank, win the ball, turn in, sees the player coming that way, spins back this way, and starts driving up the line. And I'm thinking, this isn't too bad what I'm seeing from you. Maybe it's because we're playing against a championship team that you're playing well and that's your level. But I saw more from you in the cameo role as a fullback than I saw for Archie Gray for 90 minutes. How the fuck have you not started? I'm actually beginning to think that just maybe this manager is. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, I think every manager has their favourite players, don't they? Every manager always does, and you can see there's definitely a relationship between him and Johnson, without a doubt. Wherever it is, but there's definitely a relationship there somewhere. And for me, it is the tactics. Obviously, if he's got better players, it's going to work better. But like I've always said, with these tactics, you're just going to concede too many goals, and people can give me reasons.
Dan, are we saying Spence is below Archie Gray as a right back choice? Is this where we're at now? I'm struggling.
Looks like it.
Well, that's what
I think it's the tactics. I think it's the tactics through and through.
Ben Davies is better at centre back than Ashley Phillips.
Ashley Phillips is not here, right? So.
But that's a choice of the manager, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just can't stand the manager's tactics, and I didn't like them after, even when 10 games were going. A few people asked me on shows and that, but don't you think we're going to go somewhere? As all I kept replying with, so far, so good, because I could just see it crashing anytime soon, and it did. I just don't like his tactics. I really don't. But we all like different tactics. I prefer tactics that start more like Conte, basically. But if you got the right team, you can make those tactics look very, very good. And I want to win something. I'm not just bothered about pretty football. I mean, for me, this isn't even pretty football. It's quite challenging to watch. In a lot of ways, I think it's more. In a lot of ways, I think this is worse than Conte's tactics because we're having the ball up there and still doing absolutely nothing with it, just tippy-tapping about with it. I find it frustrating watching this. I'd rather see a team sit back, take everything the other's got, and then a fast counter-attack. But again, that's personal opinion. I think it's his tactics through and through. And with the players he's got, he's just playing them in the wrong... He's not playing the players to their strengths.
Yeah, I agree with you. Perchy with a super chat. I'm sick and tired of Ange Postecoglou, this narrative about Ange's draining. We play awful, and this guy gets too much praise for doing nothing. Perchy, the link for the show is in the group chat. If you want to jump on, feel free. By the way, everyone watching the show, please smash a like, subscribe, follow Football Heritage TV, Hasbro TV, and the Hotspur Hood. Yes, Abba, go for it. Yeah,
do me a favour. Can you bring up the thing that I've just presented? For anybody, this is probably more to Mikhail's point just now. Somebody responded and said, "Oh, but are the players really that good, Michael?" I've seen Michael's response where he said, "No, but they're better than getting shit on by Coventry." I just want to make a point. That 11 that you see there from Bournemouth, right? That 11 there, give or take, Evan Nilsson wasn't there last year, but Solanke was. In the last 40 Premier League games, in the last 32 Premier League games, that 11 has accumulated more points than Tottenham Hotspur. Right? So when people are telling me our players are terrible, I'm not knocking any one of these players for Bournemouth, by the way. But guys, please be honest with me now, right? I know you're all honest chaps, right? If I said to you, realistically, Spurs are signing Adam Smith, Lewis Cook, Ryan Christie, Justin Kluivert, Marcus Tavernier, Kirkes, Travers. Let's be brutally honest. You lot and nearly every other Spurs fan will go, none of them getting our 11, right? Yeah. Give or take. Maybe Semenyo, right? But give or take. That Bournemouth team has got more points than Ange since November. Let that sink in. Let that sink in before people are going, before people are saying, our players are terrible. Oh my God, Ange hasn't got the players. I'm sorry. How has Areola gone to Bournemouth with that 11, give or take? I know there's going to be a few players that come in and out of that team and got more points than Tottenham. How? And I know. Maybe it's because he's a manager that does the normal things. Maybe he's got his back four drilled. Maybe they don't play a ridiculous high line. Maybe when they attack with their wingers, they actually attack with their wingers. Like, look, again, Ange has had injuries. What are we doing here? Look at this Bournemouth team.
Who? What injuries? Who? Richarlison.
Injuries. By the way, do you know that since January, the only major injury Tottenham have had to the first team, right, is a Dogie at the end of the season?
Dogie.
We've got to stop rolling out this Ange has had in. This is embarrassing. That Bournemouth team there, what would Ange do with that? He can't even do it with our players.
Sava, you want another stat to back you up, right? And I know you aren't the biggest fan of XG, right? I know you aren't the biggest fan of XG, but Bournemouth right now are 8th in whole European football for XG. That team that you just showed this season in 4 games are 8th behind Barcelona.
Mate, they should have beaten Newcastle.
Leverkusen.
They should have beaten Newcastle.
They are smashing it, and if you ask them if they want any of those players, they would have said no, right? But that's my point. I think our 11, especially the starting 11, is better than what we are seeing, right? I think it's better than creating no chances against Arsenal than taking 0 shots against Coventry in the first half. Fuck's sake, like people.
The football is just dreadful. I don't know how people can make an excuse for it. Other than the Everton game, because Everton's horrible, the football has been dreadful. You watch that first half. You watch the first 84 minutes. You watch the game, and you're like, this is horrible football. Like, I don't know how you can defend that. It's dreadful. I just don't know how people can defend that.
But
It's
Maury, they do. Look at some of those comments. But we finished above Bournemouth. So we bloody well should be finishing above Bournemouth. We've got a 62,000-seater stadium, bringing in millions and millions of pounds. We've got players like Son, James Maddison, Basuma, Bentancur, Van der Ven, Romero, Adogi. Yes, we should be finishing above them. But do you know the even more worrying stat, guys? Who's the worst team in the country right now?
Who's
In the Premier League?
In the Premier League.
Everton. It's got to be Everton.
Southampton or Everton, right?
Would anyone like to hazard a guess that since November, how many more points than Everton Tottenham have got?
Come on, bring the stat. Bring the stat. I want to hear it.
Mate, they're all up there. Mate, they're all up there.
I will check. Give me a second.
I know the answer. I know the answer,
Oh,
Michael.
no.
I know the answer.
Come on, give it.
Right? Anybody? How many points more than the Everton?
12.
12?
Right?
No, 9.
5? 9. Do you know what the answer is? 6.
Close enough.
Spurs, in the last 32 games, in the last 10 months, have 6 points more than that Everton team. Right? Let me just give you, fuck it, while we're here, let me tell you how many points we got more than who. Right? Here we go. So, in the last 10 months, we've got 39 points less than City, 31 less than Arsenal, 28 less than Liverpool, 17 less than Chelsea. Chelsea, by the way, who we're all going, look at that dead club. They're terrible. Get rid of 17 less points than Chelsea, 11 less points than Villa. But remember, none of Villa's players get in our 11, right? Seven less than Man United, who 10 Hag's crap. He's got to go. He's shit, right? 9 less than Newcastle, 9 less than Newcastle, right? 3 less than Bournemouth, 6 more than Everton, and only 2 more points than West Ham, who had to sack David Moyes for poor performance. When you look at these stats, guys, that shows you just how bad. 4 more than Fulham. 4 more than Fulham, who had to sell Mitrovic last year. How bad is it? How bad has this manager been?
Crystal Palace. Tell me how much we've got more than Crystal Palace.
We've got 4 more. We've got 4 more than Palace in that time. 4 more than Crystal Palace.
They had Roy Hodgson for 5 of those 10 months.
I think for me the most alarming thing is when people say things like, "Don't worry about the league position. It's only 4 games." Look at the performance. Like we're more attacking. We're more up the field. Just wait for it to click. And then you see a performance like tonight, and it's almost okay. So whatever arguments you had to defend being 13th, they all went out the window tonight. They all went out the window because that was awful. So you can't even gauge the performance as a way to justify hope that, you know, the performance is good. The performance is good. Just when those final pieces click, because now we're picking up injuries. Basuma's injured. Odbert's injured. Werner's injured. So now those injuries are coming in. Guess what? We've got a game on the weekend, then a European Cup game midweek, then another game on the weekend. This is what we were saying. We were banging on about this. Have we got a squad that can compete at a high level in all these competitions? Because last year we only won competition, really. We went out the Cup's first round. Well, now we're going to see it unravel, I think. Because
we got less of a squad than last season, really.
And I think it's weaker. I don't think the strongest...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We've got less of a squad. We've got less depth on this squad than we actually did last season.
Yeah, because even Højbjerg and Skip, we can say Skip's not that good, and we can say Højbjerg.
Isn't it amusing though how when I ask everyone,
players, aren't they?
The majority of people are now saying that maybe we shouldn't have got rid of Højbjerg purely for the transfers we didn't make.
Yeah. By the way, did you see Lo Celso today for Betis?
Yeah,
sorry,
he scored, yeah. So
just quickly for those asking for it in table form, have a look at that. That's Ange for 10 months. Look at only 4 teams have conceded less than us. More than us. Brentford, Wolves, West Ham, and there was one more, I think. There's one more somewhere. And Chelsea with one more.
Chelsea, yeah.
So we've got the
but Chelsea scored
14th. We've got the
Chelsea scored
13th worst defence of those 17 teams. We've lost 14. Look at the number of defeats. How many? Only 3 teams have lost more than us in that time. Look at those stats and watch how many people in your chat right now will defend this. Look how many will look at the state of that.
Goals for and against is so bad. Sorry,
let me try and get a bigger version of this because it's quite a small one. Hold on. Let me try and bring a bigger.
Do you want me to
one
zoom it? I can zoom it still.
I'm going to upload it now. I've got
okay.
Just did a trim.
But when I present these facts to people, no, all the stats show that we're playing well and we're doing well. Well, look at that. 44 points from 32 games. Guys, look at it. Bournemouth. Look at Bournemouth. They lost 3 less games than us.
Do you know something? You see, if that was the league table at the end of the season, I would not be shocked if those teams there above us in this table end up above us come the end of the season. In fact, maybe I'll put Brighton in there. Maybe I'll put Brighton in there as well. I wouldn't be surprised. I think City, Arsenal, Liverpool finish above us. I think Chelsea might finish above us. I think Villa, Newcastle finish above us. Yeah. I think Brighton finish above us. Do you know what? We might end up 8th or 9th this year. The way we're playing.
Yeah, if we keep playing like this and if nothing changes, right? But it's not looking as if it will, right? So yeah, you guys are completely right. Like I maybe deluded myself with the previous performances, but today fucking destroyed me. Like I was speechless watching this match, right? I was on a voice comm with one of my mates, right? And he was losing it. Like thank God he lives alone, because it's like the amount of swear words and the amount of shouting this guy did with today's game. Like I was just embarrassed. That's it. Like, and I don't see it improving, right? I said at the beginning of the season, because like you guys asked about like what needs to happen this season, and on different channels when I was asked this, like, Michael, what do you want to see this season, right? And I said, I see the issues that we have with the system. If you improve them, I am willing to give this time, right? But it's 5th game of the season, and I'm not seeing any improvements. Nothing has improved. We are playing exactly the same way as we did last season. Even worse, if you want to make that case, right? Because I don't care that we have 70% possession against Coventry, right? We should have 70% possession against Coventry, but we should limit them to 2 shots on target, right? Or 2 shots in general. But we are having 70% possession, 3 times the amount of passes, and somehow they have twice as many shots as us. Like how uninspiring and how like.
Well, apparently Jamie Redknapp called it diabolical. Apparently he called it bloody diabolical.
Because it was like this performance. I had more fun watching us lose 3-0 to Dynamo Zagreb than I had watching this game today. And I'm not even joking, right? Because at least Dynamo scored some brilliant goals. I had more fun watching that than today, right? Since minute 1, I felt embarrassed watching us today, right? Against Coventry of all teams, if we were playing Aston Villa, right? Or the colors were the same. If we were playing City and this was the performance, right? I would be like, okay, whatever, right? But it was Coventry.
But Michael, any manager now knows, like this weekend, like not in a horrible way. Thank God Visser is out injured, right? Yeah. Not in a horrible way.
I feel bad for the guy, by the way.
Right. You watch this weekend. It will be a tough game. It will be a really tough game. These are the sort of games before we used to blow these teams away. Now these teams realise, let Tottenham have the ball. Or people will go, they don't let us. We don't let them get it back. Cool. Whichever way you want to look at it. These teams are happy to sit in and just counter-attack. And you know what? Brentford will have players, might not start. Brentford will have little players like Fabio Carvalho, who in the second half will find those holes. He will find those gaps in our defence, put Mbeumo in over and over again. But Do you know what I don't understand, chaps? It doesn't matter how shit we play. It doesn't matter how many facts and stats you throw. Half this fan base is still in this mindset that, oh, I can see it improving. I'm not going to mention who, but you were on a show with someone earlier, Mick Out, and somebody turned around and said, but I can see it. This person wasn't actually a YouTuber, it was a guest. I can see what's different. I can see the pressing's better. I can see our passing. And I'm sitting there going, what are you watching? Like, what are you watching what am I not seeing? In all my 40 years of watching football, what have I missed? Because if Arsenal right now had this manager, we would be laughing our heads off, guys, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
We would be laughing our heads off. We tried to ridicule Pochettino last year at Chelsea, right? And if it wasn't for that first game, theirs was opposite. The last 30 games of the season, do you know where Chelsea would have been in the form table?
Fourth, right? Fourth.
Here's another one. Do you know in Jose Mourinho's tenure at Spurs, just over 18 months, do you know where he was overall in the form table?
Third,
huh?
Right?
He was 1 point off third. 1 point off third. We were fourth.
Yeah.
1 point off third. Only the big three got more points than Jose. Do you know what it was for Conte's?
I think there was a stat that over like first half of a year of his and until Christmas, I think we were like second or third, right? Also,
Conte ended joint fourth in his tenure.
Yeah.
If you look at all of the months added up, but this guy, look at that, 9th for the last 32 games, and the worrying thing is, people go, "Oh, that was last season." That form has carried on this season. It's not getting better. I don't know what has to happen for the penny to drop.
And my pet peeve is people in this chat are still comparing him to Arteta. Well, Arteta in his second year, and there is a big difference, right? Whereas Arteta was getting rid of his players, right, and slowly bringing in his players. Eventually, Arteta got back by Kroenke, bringing in Rice, bringing in those players. The thing is, Daniel Levy will never, by evidence, will never get us to that point. So when you say, "Oh, give him 5 years," it's going to be 5 years of bringing in championship players, bringing up players who played the championship. Look at the players that we brought in. Players from Bournemouth, right? Players from Leeds. Like, we're not getting quality from even mid-level teams. We're getting them from championship players. That's why today was almost like it was a championship game. Because
Murray, there were people comparing Ange to Pep. It was mental.
Murray, people were saying that he was going to be Liverpool's next manager.
Yeah, Murray, you know what, Murray? Because you said that we are bringing in players from Bournemouth or Leeds, right? City brought Nathan Ake from Bournemouth, right? It's not only about the clubs you bring players from, but the quality. You can see the quality. Like
the best players,
you can see the profile of a player. You could clearly see Nathan Ake was too good for Bournemouth at that point, so they brought him in, right? But when you look at Archie Gray, right? And again, like I don't want to slag the kid and say he will be a failure of a footballer, right? But he's 18. He had 1 season behind him in the championship, right? And we brought him in for 40 million, making him the 4th highest cost under 18-year-old in the world, behind Vini, Rodrigo, and Endrick. Like that's the point. That's the point of a shit recruitment, right? Why? Like with Bergwall, right? We paid 10 million for Bergwall from Djurgården. I'm okay with that, right? It's basically a gamble, right? But 10 million for a club like us, it's not good, right? 40 million, that gets you a quality senior, proven center mid, not an 18-year-old with 1 season in the championship, right? That's the issue. Like, it's not even about the club. If he was playing for City, right, or whatever, right, and we brought him in for 40 million and he was playing like that wouldn't have changed the outcome, right? it's not even about the club; it's about the recruitment itself. Like, who thought it's
we've got Edison Atalanta because then. No, I don't know if we would have got him, but I think Paratici recommended Edison to Tottenham.
Yeah, yes, he did. Yeah, he also recommended Chiesa, if I remember correctly, right? I think he recommended Locatelli at certain point, like Locatelli, who was rumored to be 20 million or something.
And we did nothing about it. Yeah.
Can I just want to address something in the chat, right? So all fans are welcome on this channel. We let everyone come on, especially when we do our fan shows Wednesdays. Okay, this week we didn't because there was a live game. And everyone in the chat is allowed to have their opinion. But I need to address this because it's something that's happened since Ange has come here. And I saw the same when Jose became manager. When Jose became manager, we got this wave of Jose sexuals that wherever Jose goes, they go. And now we've got almost this mini Australian army that follow Ange that do the same. Now, I don't mind that, but you've got to back it up, right? So, Benny, respectfully, no one's dismissing you because of your nationality. I'm challenging your views on how you're defending this manager, okay? You say it's hard to hear when you Aussies have been watching him since the Melbourne days. No manager's done what he's done in Australia. Respectfully, it's hard to hear this when I've been watching Tottenham for 35 years and I know my club, my chairman, and the Premier League more than you, right? It works both ways. And then you say people hating on Ange because he believes he can win trophies. No. You've misunderstood. I'm laughing at Ange for saying that because he's got tactics that he refuses to budge from, which costs us. And he has brought in players that are nowhere near good enough to winning trophies. So when he says about winning trophies, I laugh because he's done nothing to show me here that that's going to be a reality. If at the end of the year he wins trophies, Benny, come on here and I will apologize to you. And I will say that I really, really am just out of my depth talking about my club and football. But come end of May, when we win nothing, I would also like you to be here so you can say, yeah, okay, I get it now. I understand what you were saying. Because we're not winning anything with these tactics and these players. I'm convinced.
Still, and
I'm convinced by it. If he adapts, if Ange adapts, then maybe. If Ange adapts, then maybe. But I don't think he's going to adapt. I don't think he'll do it.
And then he goes and does a review basically saying there's no quick fix here. Contradicts everything the man has said.
It's so hard. And our fan base has done it again, man. They've done it again. We're so divided, man. And it's almost like, look, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you say you're Ange in, the Ange Out lot say you can't back it up. The data proves you wrong. Did you see that performance? If you say you're Ange Out, you're not backing the team. You're working against Ange. You hate Tottenham. You cannot win unless you say nothing. It's impossible.
What evidence, Benny? What evidence? We're 4 minutes away from being eliminated. 4 minutes away of being eliminated. Do you see the teams of the Europa? We're not beating those teams that are in the Europa.
Have you seen some of the teams in Europa League? Like,
come on, bro.
The thing is, if Ange gets sacked or if Ange leaves to go to another job, are the Bennies going to still be here? Probably not, but we are. That's the difference, isn't it? All the Jose sexuals left. The day he got sacked, they all disappeared from the chat.
Yeah, but it's also still
I want the Bennies here. I want the Australian fans here. I'm not against it.
How do you measure the mentality? If it was today's mentality, we don't have a prayer in winning any of those competitions. If you're basing it on today, we just got 2 people injured. We don't have the depth to even compete in these competitions, let alone mentality.
Yeah, like Scott said it right, like, and you said it, Mari, like mentality. I don't care about mentality if you don't have quality on the pitch, right? Like, I bet you I can like find a Polish team that has a winner's mentality, but if they play against City, they aren't going to win, right? They can have all the mentality they have, but when they are losing 5-0 in first 10 minutes, mentality doesn't help at that point, right?
Danny, we played a championship team. The mentality of team never giving up. When we play a good team, we run into a good team in the Carabao Cup. Man City. Trust me, that mentality that we saw today is not going to win.
Murray, we didn't see any last minute winners last season against any teams in the top 10.
Stan, I can do one better.
Oh, actually, no, I lie. Liverpool, we got an own goal when they were down to 9 men. One
Stan,
team.
I can do one better.
History, even with Poch here, of losing whenever we are favorites to win in their league, Champions League. Only that miracle run was the only outlier. We fold like a dollar bill when it comes to pressure. So trust me, that mentality that you're talking about is unicorns in the sky.
Where's that mentality when we lose games?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I only ever hear it when we win. Yeah, I only ever hear it when we beat Everton. And we beat Coventry and Everton, and that's it. Whenever we lost to Newcastle, where was the spirit never die then? Do you know what? I just saw a great story. I was just brushing my teeth. I've got an operation in my teeth on Friday, and I'm absolutely shitting myself. Anyway,
I feel bad for you. I hate dentists.
I'll tell you boys afterwards what I'm having done. But I saw a really good just now. I had it on mute, but somebody said. I think it was boxing, Spurs boxing or boxing, whatever, said, can we please just have a manager that doesn't have a cult following? I can't agree more. Conte had this cult following. And Jose had these kind of people that just follow him around the world. And just got these people that have just followed him from Australia and Asia. Can we just get... I just want a normal manager. I just want a normal manager with no... airs, just normal. Comes out and says, we weren't very good today. Yeah, we've got to get better at that. Not, yeah. Like today they asked Ange after, have you seen it on Sky Sports, said, Ange, you're a very honest manager. You know, what did you think? And he's like, yeah, I'm very honest, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, shut up, mate. Just say we were crap today. Just say we got away with one there. We must do better. But he's sitting there going, I thought Bergvall was really, really good. You know, we had a lot of players coming into the game today that hadn't had a lot of game time. We got to take that into account. No, mate, that's your job. Your job is to manage these players. Your job is to make sure that we don't get to 5 games in and these players haven't had a minute of football. I can't stand him. I can't stand him. I'll give the job to Haz.
Can I? Yeah, listen, Hasper.
I find that degrading.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question about this? With managers at Spurs, right? I'm not going to go down the Levy road, more the Tottenham road, but wherever that takes us. I do find managers that come to this club do start saying odd things and start acting a bit irrational. Is there too much pressure at our club for what we are? Or is there something that managers are scared to speak about at our club? Is there something that we just don't know that affects managers? Because, you know, Mourinho, Conte, Nuno, even Poch, you know, Redknapp had the Spurs job, but he was flirting with the England job. You know, is there something just not right that is working against managers as well? I'm not here to defend Ange's tactics and, you know, the performance tonight, but is there something that is just making their job harder than what maybe the Bournemouth's manager job is at Bournemouth, or what the Brighton manager's job is at Brighton? Is it you come to this club? Because I feel Man United's a bit like that as well, that job is... But I get Man United, they're one of the biggest clubs in the world. There's a lot of pressure, but for a club that's not the biggest in the world, do you feel that something's just not right that just kind of screws the managers a bit as well?
I think it's the... Man U is the good fit. I think it is basically exactly the same thing as Man U, but the reverse way round. Anyone who went into Man U, they had to live down from Alex Ferguson, basically, and it's just not going to happen. Nobody is going to do that with that club, with a club in England like he has done, or even modern day, because people don't stay at clubs that long usually anymore. And whoever went in there, the amount that they had to live up to is just... They're not going to do it. Now totally reversed the situation. But the same thing, basically. whoever comes into Spurs has got to hit this thing where we haven't had a decent manager in a long time. We've had one in God knows how many years, basically. We haven't won anything in how many years, but we're a big enough club technically to be expected to win something. And there's that side of coming into it where they feel they have to win something because they've won nothing. And there's so much pressure on them for it. Whereas at Man U, they feel like they have to win something because there's so much pressure on it because they've won stuff all over the years. Where Spurs has had absolutely nothing and the fans are basically dry to the bone and are so desperate for a trophy, the pressure is on it from day. And then I'm sure Levy does good with doing something in the coffee or tea as well. But that's how I see it. It's the sort of same pressure, but opposite of Man U.
Yeah, Michael, for sure. Come in. I just want to just ask Dan one thing about what we said. I totally agree with what you said, but right, there's a caveat here. But fans put pressure on it because we're so desperate for a trophy. But then when we make bang average signings,
absolutely,
we praise that. So is it us fans that are a problem? We think.
Well, in a lot of it, if you want to look at the whole thing, the fans are probably have been a bigger problem than the Levy. The fans have probably been a bigger problem than the Levy. Why? Because too many of our fans are too pussy to open their mouth and put their foot down. I mean, at Man U, you nearly had bloody riots just because they didn't like the football shirt. You know, they got things done. Liverpool wouldn't put up with none of this crap. It would never have got this far. Fans have let it get this far to the point where it is what it is, and they won't do nothing.
I think, right, because we haven't won for so long, and because there has been a big period of time where we weren't that great, right? I think Spurs fans developed this weird, like, how should I put it, like a martyr complex, or we have to do it our way. We don't have to sign big signings. We sign risky signings and they will always work out. And you know, and Spurs fans pride themselves on this, like, you see, we toppled the Giants, and even though we didn't win the trophy, we won in life. And I sometimes have this, like, feeling with our fan base that some of our fans, rather than actually winning stuff, want to be the ones who upset the apple cart or whatever, right? This is on one hand, and on the other hand, because we haven't won for so long, I think many fans demand a trophy, right? Because they want the monkey off their back. So I think we are caught in this, like, really weird state where, like, we want to win trophies, but we want to do it our way, not someone else's way. If you get it, like, that's the vibe I'm getting from our fan base, right? It's like, if you say to our fans, I would rather, you know, Qataris take us over, buy the best players and win the trophies. No, we cannot do this that way. This is what City does. We have to do it our way.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, there's that as well.
And you know, when they say, like, oh, let's do it like United or let's do it like Liverpool did. No, we have to do it our way. It has to be like our progressive attacking style of football, but we sign only youngsters and unproven players, but we want to be guaranteed a trophy. That's the vibe I'm getting from some of the fans, right? I'm not saying any of you boys. I'm not saying any of you boys.
You're right.
I'm saying,
you're right. You're right.
I agree to an extent, Michael. I think that the difficulty for me is this: is we've got ourselves into this perpetual cycle, right? That's what I call it. It's this cycle that never ends. And what I mean by that is, look how many people are watching Ange do shit, for example, right? And now we're no longer talking about managers' performance as to a reason whether we want them or not. We're actually talking about past behaviours of the football club as to whether or not we want the manager to stay. So you ask anybody who wants Ange to stay, 9 times out of 10, you know the answer you get? You've all had it. Can't sack another manager, right? This is the problem. If a manager's bad, a manager's bad. Whether or not we say we can't sack another manager, just keeping a bad manager doesn't get you any closer to the end goal. Now, the problem is when managers come in, Right? Can you bring up that Mark Scrivens again right there? Right? I know he's there. Like again, he's saying Ange has won 4 championships and 4 leagues. Chill, right, Mark? First of all, why is it that all the people that are really, really positive like that just constantly call everyone else twats and pricks and stuff? Why is it that all the people who are deemed to be really, really positive are the rude ones? I never understand that. I'm not sitting here calling the Ange people dickheads and twats and pricks, but these people just go, oh, they're all twats. Second of all, Ange winning 4 championships in 4 crap leagues doesn't mean anything to me as a Tottenham Hotspur fan, right? His ability to win the league in Scotland, his ability to win the league in Japan and wherever has nothing to do with his performance at Tottenham Hotspur, right? If he is this great manager that you lot say, his stats wouldn't be terrible, right? We wouldn't be losing the number of games that we are if he is this league-winning manager you say. And the last thing I'll say is this. What is this new obsession? What is this obsession, guys, with comparing Ange to Arteta, a manager that a lot of Arsenal fans want out because he's not actually succeeded? Why is the benchmark for our fans, look at Arteta? How often does that sort of story, whether you want to call it success or not, how often does that happen when a manager with no experience stays, rode his luck through COVID? I think if it wasn't for COVID, would have got the sack, right? Finishes second 2 years in a row, hasn't won anything since, and sits there, right? Everyone going, but look at Arteta in year 1 and 2. What's that got to do with Ange? What has that got to do with Ange? It's the same as the people that go, oh, we shouldn't have sold Troy Parrott. Why? Because look at Kane, right? So what? Every young striker coming through is going to be Harry Kane. Do you guys see what I'm saying? We're making up nonsensical correlations that don't exist to back a manager that's done terribly. Mark Scrivens, let me ask you a question, right? You say that any of us that are Ange Out, I'm Ange Out right here, is a twat. You're calling me a twat. Fine. Don't hurt my feelings, mate. You're calling me a twat. If one of our rivals, Mark, was going through what we're going through now, and you saw the form earlier, you saw the stats earlier, are you seriously sitting there saying, do you know what, guys? Let's not knock so-and-so at Arsenal. Let's not knock so-and-so at Chelsea. I can see what they're doing. No, you wouldn't. You'd be laughing your head off. Yeah? You'd be laughing your head off at how bad they're doing. But because it's Spurs, we just want to say nice things. There's a project. There's a process. Give him time. It's going to click. Fuck off. He's doing terribly. Why are we not allowed to sit here and say he's shit? Why are we not allowed to do it, guys? He's shit. Everything is shit about Spurs at the moment. And we're sitting there trying to compare him to Arteta. I don't get it.
Do you know what, Sava? I think the biggest thing for me is, right, a sign of whether a project is going to work or not is the caliber of players that, one, the club brings in, and 2, the manager accepts. And I'm just sorry. When I see Trossards and Declan Rice's and William Saliba's and Thomas Partey's going to Arsenal, I start thinking, do you know what? They're kind of getting their act together. Okay, they signed the odd dud like a Vieira, but they signed, Real Madrid's under-21 superstar Odegaard. He was sensational. If anyone watches youth football, he was phenomenal for Real Madrid's under-21s. And you think, do you know what? They're kind of doing something. And they signed X. And they signed, whether I rate Zinchenko and Jesus is irrelevant. He's come from a rival club. I look at Spurs and we're signing winners. We're signing from Forest, Burnley, Gangwon FC, some random club in Scandinavia, Sweden. Leeds United, Odegaard. So I'm thinking, well, hold on a minute. How are we going to compete against Arsenal, Liverpool, and City, who are shopping in a different market to us? Exactly. Regardless, even if it wasn't Ange, I'm just talking about the project.
Yeah.
How's it going to work? How's it going to work when we keep Ben Davies regularly on?
Still,
Fraser
even look
Forster?
at their loan compared to ours.
I don't get it.
Right?
I don't
They've
get
gone
where
and
fans think
loaned.
this is going to
They've
work.
gone and loaned Raheem Sterling, who has been, whatever we think of him, has been an
Chelsea,
unequivocal
Liverpool,
success
City, England
for three of the biggest teams in the country. They go and get him on loan for a year, $100,000 a week. We go and get Timo Werner,
and Chelsea takes majority of the
who's been
cash, right?
shit for 5 years.
Terrible
And we go and pay him $165,000 a week. The levels between these two clubs and what they want to do and what we want to do is frightening. And the thing is, I will have a go because Mark Scrivens called us all a twat. I'm going to ask him this. Of the signings we made this summer, Mark, what makes you think that this is a project that's going to go anywhere? You saw tonight how bad it was. Odegaard did nothing. Gray was awful, I thought. Bergvall loves giving that football away. Loves it. These are the players we signed that you people think he's going to take us to the promised land.
And you go with Benny because Benny's role, he is not getting it, right? It was never going to be perfect his first 10 months. That's the whole point of paper rebuild. Well, then blame some of the fan base who predicted us third, fourth.
Yeah.
Right?
We're going to win the league.
You're going to win the league. And then blame your manager. Blame Ange. I always win trophies my second year. That doesn't sound painful. That doesn't sound like a painful rebuild. He said it out of his mouth, the horse's mouth, that we will win trophies. I always win trophies my second year. So
also, Mario, right? Because it's always going to be painful in first 10 months, right? But we are in a second season already. It's not 10 months, it's 14 months already of this guy's tenure, right? We started the second season and we are supposed to go through another year of painful rebuild, right? What's the guarantee that the next year won't be a painful rebuild, right? Like,
but Michael, what rebuild? What painful rebuild are we going through? We've only added Solanke.
I'm not even like questioning, if we are in a rebuild or not, right? I'm just saying that it's 14 months, right? And okay, I gave the guy like a freebie in the first year, right? Because I think the previous season was absolutely shambolic, right? So I was like, okay, like I get it. This club has been in an utter shambles. Let him try to fix it, right? And even though we were like really shocking at the end of last season, like I was like, okay, let me see how this goes next season, right? But the next season has already started. We played 5 games already, out of which I haven't been that impressed in any of them, right? Even against Everton when we won 4-0, Everton are trash, guys. Like, let that sink in. We got outplayed by Coventry. Arsenal, an injury-ravaged Arsenal came to our gaff and outplayed us, right? We couldn't score a goal against Newcastle with no first-team defenders, right? We only scored an own goal. We scored it, right? And then we drew to Leicester, who are a freshly promoted side. It's like, where are the signs that the rebuild is over and we are actually going in the right direction, right? Because that's what you are implying, right? 10 months are done already. The rebuild should have been done already. 3 transfer windows, right? We should.
And Michael, can we stop talking about Kane? Can everyone stop bloody talking about Harry Kane? This manager never, ever, 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 ever had Harry Kane to begin with. 99% of clubs in the world don't have a Harry Kane and don't use it as an excuse every season. Chelsea don't have a Harry Kane. Fulham don't have Harry Kane. Bournemouth don't have a Harry Kane. Arsenal don't have a Harry Kane. He lost Harry Kane a few days before the season. He knew Harry Kane was leaving. We'd already spent the money. We'd already spent the money on Vicario, Van der Ven, and Maddison. It wasn't a shot. Sorry, I'm so fucking frustrated still. He knew Kane was leaving. He didn't plan for the season with Harry Kane. How dumb can people be? It is mental.
Do you know what? I've just got up Arteta's first year in charge, right? Listen to the signings that they made. Willian, who was a good player at the time from Chelsea, didn't have the best of times, but an experienced player from another big club. Gabriel Magalhaes, who's turned out to be a top centre-back. Thomas Partey, top DM from Atletico Madrid, right? And in that same kind of first year, bear with me a second, they also signed Martin Odegaard, who's turned out to be one of the best number 10s in the league, and Ben White, who was at the time one of Brighton's best centre-backs, right? So you could see a pattern of decent level beginning to come in, right? That was the first season. When you look at our first season with Ange, only really Van der Ven has turned out to be of genuine, consistent quality. You could say Vicario had a good first half a season, but the jury's out on him now. The jury's out on Vicario. We just don't know.
I still think he's a good goalkeeper, right? But
a good shot stopper.
I get your point.
Right? From set pieces and corners and whatnot, distribution, is he? Then you look at Maddison, who I thought was a great signing when we brought him in, but the system's killed him. Our system has absolutely killed him, and that's on the manager. So when I look at the manager's signings, like if you were to honestly list all 16 players, by the way, we've signed under Ange. If you were to look at the 16 players he signed, how many play for Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City? All they've got to do is make it into the squad. I only think Van der Ven gets in, and maybe
you're right.
Yeah. I was going to say Porro, but Porro wasn't signed under Ange. No, I don't think any of Ange's signings get into any of our main rival squads.
He doesn't know a good player. He doesn't know a good player. Look at his signings. Look at how many forwards, stroke wingers, has he signed, guys, in his three windows? 7, 8. Yeah. Look, Werner twice, right? Solomon, Valise, Solanke, Odegaard, Johnson, right? That's 7. And whether or not you want to add Kulu in there, the whole debate about who signed him. He signed 8 players in those forward areas. Spent over 200 million in doing that. Right? Nearly 200 million in doing that. And we still can't score. And people keep going, but when he gets his own players, when he gets the players that suit his system, hang on. How many more signings does he need to have to try and make that right? There are excuses. This is why we're such a small club. So many excuses. Look at Roma today. You'll see what Roma did today.
Sacked De Rossi.
How good was De Rossi for the second half of last season after he replaced Jose?
Yeah.
He was brilliant, right? And he nearly got them Champions League football. Look at him this season. They've had 5 games, not won one of them. See you later. Getting the new manager. That's a big club.
By the way, Roma's transfer window. I wish we had one like that. But
how the hell does Odegaard Graham Bergville have world-class potential?
Because they have 86 potential on FIFA.
But still,
he's like the best in the... What are we doing here?
Are they comparing them to what's his name in Spain? Yasin Yamal. Is Yasin Yamal? Is that his name?
Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, he's actually got 86% potential.
Saba, to add to your point, the reason why you also made that firing is something that we're demanding from our fan base. Those ultras at Roma, they don't play. They put that pressure on the board. Hey, we're not like how the season's starting. Do something. Where our base, we celebrate mediocrity. We don't get a rise. After today's performance, you would think there would be more anger and like, hey, we can't have this, right? That's the difference, right? The Roma ultras. Look at was it Milan or Inter Milan's ultras called the players and the manager. Was it AC Milan?
AC.
Yeah, they don't.
After losing 5-1, right?
Same in La Liga, the Spurs, Real Madrid or Barcelona. Like these fan base, they put pressure on the board.
Mate, we celebrated losing to Chelsea. I don't know how much more it can tell you what a loser club we are. We lost to Chelsea. They sent Kulu out to the media and he said, we're winning at life. And half our fan base went, yeah, I love that.
That was my point when I said that we had.
And then we got smashed by West Ham, Newcastle, and Aston Villa.
Fulham away 4-0.
Brighton
3-0
down in that 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that was my point when I said this fan base
is
like martyr mentality. That they want to. I honestly have a feeling that this fan base thinks that the more we suffer, the greater the eventual success will be. Like that's the way I look at this fan base, right? They think that we Odobert, Bergvall, Gray, world-class potential. They will definitely end up in the starting 11, and then we will show you. I will tell you. I fucking believed in them from the beginning, right? But what if they don't work out? Like, what happens if those guys don't work out? There is a high possibility that they don't work out, right?
Michael, look at them compared to the Coventry players today. Today, Bergvall and Gray, I'm not knocking them, but Bergvall and Gray, everybody has been, oh my God, they've got to start. We did a show on this on yours on Sunday night still. Gray's got to start. Bergvall's got to start. These guys have got to start. How do we know they're not better than Basuma and Maddison? But I'm sorry, you watch them tonight, right? Mm-hmm. They should have come right out. Right, we're young, we're hungry, we're going to show what we can do. I thought both of them, I'm not saying they were both terrible, but I didn't notice either of them in the game, right?
Bergvall was not good, but he tried.
He gives the ball away a lot, right? People are telling me this guy should start above James Maddison. Have a day off.
No.
And to the person that's calling me an inbred, you probably don't even know what an inbred means. Do you know what I mean? This guy's got to start above James Maddison. Oh, slow down. Slow down. Yeah. Archie Gray should start as our holding midfielder above Benton. Whoa. Hang on. What are we doing here, right? Our fans get carried away by everyone. Every young player we sign, we think is better than every young player anyone else signs. And I see all these other young players across these other clubs in the Premier League, and you go, God, he looks good. Ours just looks shit. I don't. Sorry,
guys. Listen, I'll say it, guys. I'll say it. From what I've seen of Archie Gray so far, I don't see anything special at all. I think he's capable. I think he's capable in terms of good first touch. He's got some technical ability, but that's it. Whatever he's done at youth football, great. For me, when I've seen him play for Spurs pre-season, and I've seen him play in whatever little minutes he's had, and he got a whole game tonight, I have not been wowed at all. I think he needs 2-3 years, this guy, before we can begin to really judge. Odobert,
where should he be? Where should he be right now?
He should be on loan.
On loan at least. On
loan. And we're sitting here going, it's the fans saying our squad is stronger than last year because of Bergvall and Gray. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not saying keep Lo Celso and Højbjerg, but if you are going to let those players go and buy players that are better than them to replace them. We've let 2 senior pros go and replaced them with 2 18-year-olds that aren't ready. I think it is absolute. I think it is shocking what we're doing. Sorry.
I think as well, right, that a lot of people, when we signed Odobert as well, they talked about the dribbling stats. We've got, he was so good at Burnley, whatnot. And I looked into it, and I'm sorry, there was no end product. At Burnley, he scored 4 goals, didn't get hardly many assists, and his dribbling stats were decent, but nothing special. Since he's played for Spurs, I've seen nothing, no end product. And even up to the point where he got taken off injured, he didn't do anything in the game tonight. And this is against Coventry, where he could have taken on lots of players. I don't understand. The only youngsters I'm genuinely excited about, like really, really excited about, is Mikey Moore. I do think there's a real talent there. But again, he's another one. He's got to get the game time. And the other one I really think highly of is I think Lancashire looks like a striker. He plays like a striker. But again, he's got to prove it in the adult game. We can't just go by what we see at youth. Them 2 are the ones that I think, you know what, maybe you could break through. I think Bergvall's got something about him. But again, we saw tonight, he's got a long way to go, hasn't he? He's still got a long way to go.
Can I add one more? Can I add one more?
Mate. You can have as many as you want on the list.
No. I actually want to add one more. This, like, Luka Vuskovic, he was on loan at a Polish club, so I've been watching him a lot.
Is this the centre back, Michael?
Yeah, the centre back.
And he does look. He looks tasty.
Now he's on loan in Belgium, and he's actually playing first team football for a senior team, right? And I know it's a Belgian league.
He's
I know
big,
it's
isn't he?
nothing.
He looks like a
but
man.
he's big. He's good in the air. He's good with the ball at his feet. Like good for that level, of course, right? But I think if there is at least a bit of promise with any of the youngsters, I would maybe say him, right? But I think we are. He for me is actually
Another
getting
defender.
a proper development.
Another defender when we've got shit attackers. Another defender.
But
Ashley Phillips, the Polish.
But for me, at least he's getting proper development because he's actually playing like 70 to 90 minutes pretty much every week, right? Whereas like Ashley Phillips cannot get into the Stoke team, right? So like, what's the point of that loan? Like, it's like they are wasting their
the biggest
time.
problem for me is
None of our players on loan on Saturday got any minutes. By the way, Spence got what's his name? Scarlett got no minutes. There's another boy who's on loan.
Scarlett is gone. Like I don't know why people are still.
He's still on our books. Sorry, sorry to interrupt.
Yes, that's fine. I think that a lot of fans believe in the media narrative too much when it comes to Tottenham, and also the nonsense they post on Spurs official, like as in they hear Ange's words and they take it as like, oh wow, this guy's going to be our messiah. He's going to save us. He's going to take us to the title. Like they take what he says as like, and I'm not saying they're wrong in doing that because we hold him to his word, yeah. But like they have such blind belief in it, like they won't sit and go deep into like this, like you went with the stats or something, or like what we do. We just do stuff deeper rather than just surface level stuff. He'll just see things as surface level stuff. So they hear what he says. Oh yeah, he's as good as this manager or that manager. He's going to take us to promised land. Oh, we're doing a project now, but when we're doing a project like 10 years ago, oh, but that's a new project now. Or be patient. But then the Arteta thing is quite interesting that you guys were bringing up because I was one of the people who was very critical of Arteta as well in his first few years in management, yeah. But he developed more in his first 4 years in management as a tactician than I've seen in Ange. And Ange's been managing for 20 years supposedly. And all I've seen this guy do the same stuff every single game. So it's like, but then they'll say they don't rate Arteta. And another thing that's interesting when you brought up Arsenal for me is how our fan base bangs on about how, we do these mixed 11s before the derby and that. Everyone's like, oh no, but their player won't get into our team. Oh, they're playing our team. And now they're spouting the Arteta narrative because Arteta supposedly has some success at Arsenal. So clearly, maybe our players are nowhere near the Arsenal fan because you're now saying that Arteta's a better manager.
Arteta won an FA Cup with a far less better squad than what Ange's got, and he beat Man City away in the semi-final to get to the final, and he beat Chelsea in the final. Like he proved in that one season there's something there. He gave and he brought some credit in the bank. What has Ange done?
But no, I'm talking about now. I'm saying our fan base will say, "Oh, these players are so much better than Arsenal's," right? Just for example. But then we'll go lose the derby anyway. But then, and they'll say, "Oh, Ange is better than Arteta," blah blah. But then now they're using the Arteta argument now to justify Ange staying on after spending like 2 weeks ago telling us that Ange is better than Arteta and we have a better squad than Arteta. It doesn't make any sense. It's like they just move the goalposts every time. You can't have it both ways. You can't sit and say, "Oh, we have so much better players than Arsenal, and Ange is a better manager," blah blah, because that's what a lot of people say. And then later say, "Be patient because we're going to do the Arteta build." So that means Arteta and Arsenal must be better than us then. So you can't have it both ways.
No, listen, I agree. As I agree. But by the way, Billy Horrocks, right? I'm going to change your name, Billy Bollocks, right? Billy Bollocks. Come on the show next Wednesday, put your camera on and debate. You can't call it an echo chamber unless you've got the Billy Bollocks to come on and talk. If you don't come on and talk, if you don't want to come on and debate, you are creating the echo chamber, right? I do a fan show every 2 Wednesdays. The next one's going to be 1 week from now, 8:30 p.m. Come on, camera on, and you can debate, discuss, challenge, opinion, whatever you want. But if you don't turn up, I just want you to know you are the problem. You are the problem. You can't sit behind your keyboard doing this. And it's not just you, anyone else in the chat. You're welcome to come on. If you want to come on now, say so, and I'll give you the link right now. You can come on. Alex, Are you going to unleash or are you
To be honest, no, because I've got my video coming up on Mr. Box Office TV, so it's not really much of a big deal. You know what I mean? Because that's going strong like every single time. You know what I mean? Even though people think I'm dumb, I'm silly, but who's right every single time? Mr. Box Office. You know what I mean? Who's the one that said that this is not going to really
Erling
work
Haaland.
out? Yeah, well, Erling Haaland, yeah, but I was still right last season because Roy Keane agreed with me last season, and about
Yeah,
him not
just
playing
the
the ball,
100 goals in 100 games.
but then in saying that, Sava, who do we have when Haaland started? Oh, we had Harry Kane. Look what Harry Kane's gone. Look what's happened. Do you know what I mean? So I can't have a go at him now because he's done it consistently, unlike our players. So I've dropped that every single time because
I know.
a
I
bit
just like winding you up, Alex. You
yeah,
know
I know.
that,
I'm
man.
Sava, you know I love you anyway. You know it's all
I love
fun.
you too, man.
You know what I mean? You're good for the fan base. Like I said, telling the truth like you always do, facts every single time. But the point I'm making is that I'm not learning nothing. I'm not learning nothing. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm going to give you some little nuggets that I saw today that was very interesting. The coach, Nick Montgomery, is very interesting. He's supposed to be player development. I said this on Spurs Kings TV, by the way. My big time, my guys there, Esma Marlon, by the way, yeah, right. I said, why have we got Nick Montgomery doing set pieces when this guy should be a player development guy? You know what I mean? I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what Ange is doing, to be honest with you. And just looking at his face was just a picture at the end of the match because he looked like, oh, this is going to be hard. This is going to be hard.
Well, he said
You
it
know what I
after,
mean?
do
basically,
you think
didn't he?
reality hit him tonight?
I think
Watching
reality
that?
is
Do
definitely
you
hit
think
him.
reality smacked him tonight? He thought,
Absolutely hit him.
Shit.
Do you
Honestly,
actually realize? Do you actually think he realizes how much he's been shooting himself in the foot? Then
I think he's realised the job that he's agreed to.
Dan.
I think he's
You
realised
know,
what he applied for.
Dan. You know, I give you probs, yeah, because you've been saying it like I've been saying it, yeah.
St. Partick Thistle, bruvs. This is the Premier League.
I think it is hitting on him. It's the only thing is right now for me at the moment. I'm just getting fed up now, to be honest with you. I'm just bored. I'm bored of hearing it the same thing. It's like I say, Sava did it brilliantly on one video he did, and I'm not trying to give him a big ego, but he has said a lot of things in his videos. It actually sums up what I've been like as a Tottenham fan. Like I've been a Tottenham fan since 11 years old, and I've not seen anything since really that's really got my fancy, and that's it. And I'll stick by what I said, yeah, on someone else's show. I'm not going to name this show. I said the worst thing that happened to this football club was actually getting to that Champions League final. And that's a shameful thing to say because I love Pochettino. I think it was the worst thing that happened to this club. The worst thing. Because I think
covered all the cracks on the walls.
I think it got Daniel Levy thinking he can do it on the cheap, right? When it was just because Pochettino was a very, very good coach, right?
And we were
people
lucky.
now saying that we're bigger than the FA Cup, bigger than the Carabao Cup, which don't get me started. We're not winning this competition because, like, I'm sorry, we are not gonna win this competition with that front line. We are not doing it. I'm sorry.
Or that
Timo
defensive
Werner
tactic high line that Coventry picked off about 5 times.
And I was more impressed with Coventry's players. To be honest with you. The only player that can have his head up in being proud, and to be honest with you, we need to see him doing this consistently, is Kulu.
Yeah, you're right, mate.
That's the only one.
But remember, this was against a championship.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this was
we've got Brentford next. That the mug he's going to go to, thanks to his Stelios' friend. Thank you very much for giving me the ticket, by the way. I do appreciate it. But bloody hell, because that was painful tonight. That was very painful.
Got a super chat from Della Spurs, who for me has got the best name. I love this name, Della Spurs. For me, club history, trophies, and success determines how a fan base rates players and club projects. Question to everyone: would the average Man United fan know more about football than the average Tottenham fan?
I don't know how you would judge that. I
In
don't
terms of
know.
winning, in terms of winning, you'd say what it takes to win, what it's about. Yeah,
It all depends now, doesn't it? Because football fans have changed. Like before YouTube, before the internet, before all these forums, AOL chat, when that was about, before all that, football was really pure. Do you know what I mean? It just seemed to be easy and normal. Now it just seems to be, there's a lot of bias. There's a lot of irrational opinions. There's a lot of drama rather than people actually just talking football. So I don't know how you would ever quantify which fan base knows what they're talking about. They don't. I reckon all fan bases have a pocket of fans who are very knowledgeable, a pocket of fans who are okay, and then a large portion that just chat nonsense to stir on the internet.
I think stats as well has changed the way fans apply knowledge, opinion, come to conclusions, decisions on things. I actually don't mind the stats, but sometimes there is a bit of an overkill.
I've got to be honest, yeah. I think you're absolutely spot on, Stelios. I think people think about stats too much. I think it's ruining the game. I've got to be honest, because I just think for me, and I don't think players are actually thinking for themselves. And because I think you saw it in Euros, and I think a lot of people are now saying it, because I didn't actually enjoy the World. I didn't think the World Cup was quality. I never thought the World Cup 2 years ago wasn't quality. I think it was more entertaining, and I thought this tournament was very entertaining, more entertaining as well. You know what I mean? Rather than quality, and I think it's because people are putting systems in front of players rather than actually being individuals. And I think this sums it all up with Ange Postecoglou. He's getting the players thinking about the system too much and not being individuals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it's a player like Maddison should be free to do what he wants. Express himself. You know what I mean? Like a maverick, but he's just put into a system, enclosed into a system, and he's just getting so. He can't be himself. You know what I mean? You can see the frustration. You know what I mean? I think that's why you're seeing him backtracking to the referee. I think he's actually annoyed with himself. You see what I'm saying? I looked at maybe I'm spoiling to my thing to the video. You look at Jed Spence when he comes on, and Nick Montgomery's trying to speak to him. He's just completely ignoring him. He's completely checked out. He's literally like you watch him. You watch it.
It's like your wife when you leave the front door to go out and she starts saying things and you're like, yeah. See ya.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he just completely looked like he just checked out. He didn't even look like he acknowledged him at all.
Alex,
you know what I mean?
was this? Was this the post-match press interview?
No. At half time when he was coming on, right? Nick Montgomery was trying to give him instruction.
Oh, sorry.
Jed Spence was he just weren't looking at him whatsoever. He didn't look interested whatsoever. He didn't. He could see it. You know what I mean? I was like,
if I was Spence's agent, I'd be looking to get him out in January. Just get him out.
I think that's it, because I mean I'm surprised he scored the goal, because like I said, but for me,
I thought he was all right when he came on. I don't think he was that bad.
He's all right.
Defensively, he was dreadful. Defensively, he was taken to the cleaners by their right winger. This is we've got to do this again though. We keep judging all these players for what they do going forward. Defensively, he was shit.
I don't really look at the wing back on the defensive side. I'm so used to it.
And the thing is, what can Mikey Moore not get a game for? Because I mean, for goodness sake, you know what I mean? To be honest with you, he was justified that Journer came off.
Alex, I've told everyone. I spoke to the academy director. He said Mikey Moore isn't really going to play this season. They're going to push him into the under-21s. That's where he'll play, and that's where he's going to get his minutes. He might get 5-10 minutes in the first team, maybe. But if you think he's going to start in the Carabao Cup or in any European games, it's for the birds, man. The only way.
Why is he playing on? Why is he on the sub bench? Why is he on the sub bench? What's the point of having him on the sub bench?
Because it feels like
just to give him the experience. What's the point?
Look, if we have an injury crisis, which we might do, we've got Odebert Werner out. If we suddenly lose Johnson and we lose Son, then the door opens for Mike Moore just by default. The same way Klopp had to bring on 3 18-year-olds in the Carabao Cup final because of his injury crisis, right? That might happen. But I'll tell you this for a fact. A big bid came in for Mikey Moore from another Premier League club. I think it's Man City, but I can't guarantee it was. And he got rejected by the club. So I know they want to keep him, but he's another one. And Alfie Devine's the same. If we don't start giving him minutes, they're gone. Clubs want Alfie Devine, and he wants.
I think
to get the minutes, but because on loan, maybe they've bought him. They've bought time for another year for him to hang around at Spurs. But
we've got
Mikey
no
Moore is in demand. He's in
balls,
demand.
have we? We've got no balls to say, you know what, we're not playing well. Let's get one of these kids from the youth and say, you've got 5 games. Go on.
Yeah.
Have a run in the first team.
I think they should. I think for me at the moment they put themselves in such a hole right now with these youngsters. Now I think they just need to play them. If we're going to play, if we're playing this long game, they're saying right, and Ange's agreed with this, and everyone's agreed with this. By the way, oh, by the way, it was so funny seeing Scott Munn's face and Daniel Levy's face in the stand. It's just so funny. Scott Munn seeing him for the first time. Honestly, it was like,
Levy looked like he was sweating,
Wally?
didn't it?
Where's Wally? You know what I mean? No disrespect to Where's Wally. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's Where's Wally. You know what I mean? It's like trying to find him because I haven't seen him for so long. I don't know, but seeing him there was like seeing someone famous.
Alex, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you not think it was funny as well? Like today, you think Estelle kind of started this point earlier, and I'll finish it now. You saw our right back was rested, Porro, so he plays a central midfielder at right back. While Spence doesn't get a game at right back. Then he takes a Dogie off and brings on Spence, who's a right back at left back, when you've got Serge Reguilon, who's a left back on the bench. Like, doesn't it just all feel very like this guy is just having a laugh at this stage? Like, there doesn't seem to be any real plan as to who plays where. And for anyone that
seems very
said
strange.
we didn't need to do any more in the window, right? And like when Ange is saying there's no defenders out there that fit our mold, right? Look at that defence in the second half. Spence, Gray, Dragusin.
No.
By the way, did anyone think Dragusin didn't have it? I thought Dragusin had a really poor game tonight.
No, I'm embarrassed. I said that he's one of our best defenders.
I thought Dragusin had a stinker, man.
I didn't think he had a good game.
I know a couple of people were saying, okay, well, you know what, you know, bench Romero, let Jackson start. And I was looking at today's game, I was just like, Jackson didn't look so hot today. I don't know about that. Maybe a back 3, but I don't know. Yeah.
Right, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So
yeah, Dan, I was about to say everyone's yawning. I'm going to wrap it up, but before I wrap it up, if you want to go, Dan, go. If you want to hang around for the last 10 minutes, I was just going to get everyone's views on the game coming up this weekend. We've got Brentford at home, 3:00 kickoff. I think Wissa might be missing for them, which is a big blow. Yeah. He's injured, yeah, but they've still got Mbuemo. They've still got a top manager. We might have injuries now, possibly no Basuma, no Odebert and Werner, so there's going to have to be changes for Spurs. Richarlison's still out. Who cares? What do you think? What do you think? Are Spurs going to get the win? Is it a draw? Is it? Are we staring possibly at another loss? I don't think we'll play as badly as we did tonight. Then do you know? I say that for every game.
Can I just say this still? Can I say this?
I'm going to shoot. I'll see you later on. Take care.
Dan, thanks for coming on. Make sure you subscribe to the Hotspur Hood, everyone. Hotspur TV.
Can I just say something that's really worrying to me at the moment? I think the players are actually working hard. I think the players are actually working hard because they are pressing very hard, but I just don't think they're good enough. And that's what's worrying at the moment. I actually think they're working very, very hard. I think they're actually putting a lot of effort in, but they're just, it's just not there. And that's worrying for Europe because you know we're going to be in hostile stadiums over Europe.
Alex, how many of us who get criticised for whatever we say, how many of us, in fact, all of us on this show right now, what did we say about this season playing 2 games a week? We all said it. We banged on about it throughout the whole of August. Now it's come to that moment, right? This is the reality check. This isn't. You know,
there's no excuse for him. There's no excuse for him. If, like you watch now, if we start losing games, if we keep losing games, but injuries. Well, hang on. Ange is the one that said we've done enough.
But
can I just say this Billy Horrocks? I'm gonna say it. This Billy Horrocks moron in the chat, right?
Billy Bollocks.
Do you know what, Billy? Again, I was one of the people that when Ange signed said this guy's a breath of fresh air. I liked it. He was fun in press conferences. His team were going out. They were attacking. The problem is, Billy, that stopped. We stopped winning games. He stopped changing things, right? He stopped being that nice guy. So I got to a stage I went, right. No, don't like him anymore. Ange out. So I don't know what you're saying 10 months ago, what I was saying. I was one of the first fans that came on YouTube and actually said, Ange out. And does anyone know the moment when I first officially said it?
when he resigned Werner?
When he re-signed Werner. When he re-signed Werner, said, right, everyone told me, wait till the summer. When he gets to the summer, he'll be backed. Watch the players he's going to bring in. The moment he signed Werner, said, nah, this manager's a joke. And I was Ange out, right?
In fact,
So
I went on
Billy-
the Tottenham TV and did a whole video. Like, blow. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
But
So
Saba,
this guy Billy, man up, come on. This guy, he's been chatting shit in my chats for years and years and years. He's very big in the chat. Look, you're a hypocrite. You're this. He can't. What's stopping you? Come on now. I'll get Still to give you the link. Come on right now. Man up. I bet you don't.
But Saba, don't you know you cannot change your opinions as a YouTuber. Once you said something, you have to stick to it, right? That's the rules, apparently. Like, you know, what's you like him, then you don't like him now. Like,
yeah, I liked him. Then I got to the point. There you go. There's the link. I bet you. Look, no, next week. No, next week. Oh, my camera don't work. Oh, I can't. You mean you're full of shit and you've got no balls? That's all it is, man. That's all it is. Man up. Come on and tell us why you love Ange then.
They never do come on. They never do.
Of course guys, they don't. But then call it an echo chamber. Then that's what pisses me off still. We're all echo chambers, but you invite anybody on. Where are they? Who wants to come on and stick up for Ange? Always say on the show.
I've been on We Are Tottenham TV 3 times. I called in and I slammed the window. I slammed Ange. I said this re-signing of Werner is a major red flag. This project isn't going to work. I mean, and I don't know. Unless and maybe I've got to get on the microphone at White Hart Lane and get on the big screen.
Look at him. I'm on next week. It's bedtime now, you angry man. Oh, shut up, you. Exactly. You shit your pants and then want to have a pop at me. Mate, I'll eat you alive in a debate. It's the reason why none of these happy clappers, shouldn't really say that, that's really bad of me. It's the reason why all of these people that are fake toxic positive, you ask them to come on, you get, no, we don't agree on things. Yeah, of course, that's a debate. Oh, there's no point arguing you. Oh, you'll just bend the facts. How can I bend a year's worth of facts?
People don't realize, right? When you put your face on the camera like this and you speak, people know what you look like. They know what your name is. They know what your voice sounds like. You literally cannot hide this. And this is, and then to have a debate in that environment as well, then they'll realize how it works. But anyway, listen, Brentford predictions, thoughts. Are we winning, losing, drawing? God knows. Just whatever.
I think it's gonna be an instant replay from the game Newcastle Arsenal, what we see today. You're gonna see one half where we don't have any shots on goal. It's gonna be the same pass side into the box, whip. No one's at the other end to finish. It's gonna be the same old thing. Then we're gonna have about 5 to 10 minutes where we're actually, high octane. Oh, we almost scored. It's either going to be a draw or Brentford winning 2-1. I'll be nice. I'll go 1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
Okay. Michael?
I know I slammed the club today, but I actually think we'll win. But I don't think it will be anything pretty. I think it will be a complete shit show. but I think the quality of the players that we have in this team, or no, I think if you play with Van der Ven, Romero, Doggy Poro, the first 11 that will definitely play on the weekend, I think they have enough, especially with Wissa being injured. I'm not saying they don't have good players, but I don't know. I just have a feeling we'll win 2-1.
They gave Man City a game,
Yeah, I know they did. I'm not saying with this with like 100% certainty, right? I'm just telling you how I feel. I feel like we can win 2-1, and that's what I'm going to predict. But I wouldn't be surprised if we lost. Like, didn't we? No, we won against them last season, and we lost 2 seasons ago to them at home. Yeah, but we lost 2 seasons ago to them at home, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we lose, honestly. But I predict us to narrowly win 2-1. They have to react after the shit show of today. And by the way, I have to say, because you guys were saying something about Mikey Moore, right? Assuming that Odobert and Werner are injured, which Ange kind of hinted about, right? We have 3 fit wingers right now at this club. I think that's a chance to give this guy a couple of minutes, right? If they really rate him this highly, we have like a bit of an injury crisis on the wing, so give the guy a chance, right? I would rather see him play than Werner, Johnson, and even Odobert to an extent, right?
He won't play him in the Premier League game. He won't do it.
Then,
with the injuries, he may not have a choice.
Yeah. All right. So Mari's gone. What did you say, Mari? A draw. Michael said a win. Sava.
Yeah,
so
predicting Spurs results. You just never know what you're going to get. I think it could be anywhere from 2-1 to us, 2-2, 2-1 to them. Listen, they're a good team. They're organised, right? They're a very organised team, and I watched them last week against Man City, and I watched them get in behind Man City's high line, which isn't even as high as ours, time and time again. And I think they're going to do that to us. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go with 1-1. Listen, I'm not surprised if we snatch it. I'm not surprised if they snatch it. But I think it's a big thing for us that Vissa's out. I think it's a big thing for us. His pace kill us. But I really like Mbeumo. He's one of the players I wanted. I would have loved Mbeumo in this front three. And I think that he started to add a little bit of, Fabio Carvalho starting to get more and more minutes for them. He starts to pull strings. They're well oiled at the back. They've got a good keeper.
That sounded bad.
I'm going to go with 1-0. I'm going to go with 1-0. But at some point we need a convincing win still. At some point we need a convincing win where we're 2-0 up and we're not in trouble for 90 minutes.
1-0 win. Alex?
2-1 Brentford. I've got no belief in our front line. I've got no belief in our front line whatsoever. I don't like the midfield. 2-1 Brentford. Something will score last minute. I don't think it's going to give any confidence to the front line. I don't think Johnson's very good. I think he scored a goal because Coventry couldn't score their chances. Tonight, I'll give it back to you, Stel. I can't be asked to even say anymore.
I can't be asked to talk. Fuck this. Oh my God. Do you know, I predicted a draw against Arsenal. I nearly got it right. That was stupid. Never do that again. I said 2-1. I said we'd beat Coventry 2-1. I said it, but it'd be very close. I never thought it'd be like that. We didn't deserve a 2-1 for shit tonight. Part of me thinks we're going to win it by 1 goal, but I just feel that their manager's just going to have us sussed. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a draw. I think 1-1.
I went for a draw, by the way, Stel.
You changed it.
Everyone's saying Savage. No. I said it wouldn't surprise me if 1-0. I'm going 1-0.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we can keep a clean sheet for Toffee, mate. I think we are.
Can't.
I think we are absolutely dreadful at the back. All of these people going, the stats show with a big shot. Coventry had about how many chances should Coventry have put away tonight? Imagine the conversation we'd be having still. If that
it's
their manager,
it's their manager who I think is going to get them the draw. I think their manager is going to do it.
But imagine one of those big chances in the second half went in still and they won 2-0 instead of getting to 2-1 to us. What conversation would the fan base be having right now?
Mate, the amount of balls that got whipped to the back post and they just slid in a bit late or missed it was unbelievable.
Yeah. And we didn't learn. Most clubs go, right, let's switch on. Can't let that happen again. Not Spurs. Not Spurs.
I couldn't believe how many times they're going behind. Listen, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. God bless each and every one of you. Channel member Henry Fong, big up. Chris for some super chats, Perchy and Della Spurs, big up to you. Everyone in the chats, comments. Billy Bollocks, I expect to see you next Wednesday. If not, I don't know what else to say to you. Make sure you subscribe to Alex, Mr. Box Office TV, Sava Football Heritage TV, the Hotspur Hood as well, Hasspur. We'll be back. When are we back? Maury, are you doing a show tomorrow or not? Maury, just sitting in the background playing Snake. Yeah, whatever.
Snake? What, are you in the 90s?
Sorry.
That's Snake.
What do people play nowadays on their phones?
Candy Crush.
Maury's playing Candy Crush. Right, there you
go.
Tinder, Grinder.
Whoa.
Pause, as they say.
Pause.
Yeah, Maury, is that yes or no? Or you just...
Yes, so probably have to start at 10 tomorrow because Arsenal, they play to get Stephen and Connor.
I don't mind if you don't do a North London's House show this week, Maury. I don't mind this. We're just going to sit there and get fucking... Stefan's just going to talk for an hour and a half. We're just going to sit there.
Rinse us, yeah. We'll probably start at 10. We'll start at 10 because they have a Champions League game.
All right. Well, check out tomorrow. We might be going live. If not, on Saturday after the game, we've got a late night show. Check that out. Sava, I guess you're going live tomorrow or Friday at some point.
Yeah, why not? I'll just quickly, can I just read this? Look at this, right? I've just looked in my... I was thinking, my comments are quite quiet tonight, considering I've just streamed for 4 hours, and every one of them, for some reason, has gone to my helpful review. And the first one from USAMNT says, "You, sir, are a wanker." Imagine, straight to the point. "You, sir, are a wanker." Imagine having such a shit team for 20 years. You then get a manager like Ange who loses Harry Kane, and all you do, little bitch boy, is bitch. I really hope that bad things happen to you. P.S. Your wife is a whore.
How do people?
What is this?
How do people get so wound up over football opinions to the point of where they just literally lose it to the point of where they want to just say nasty shit? Did you see the guy just blocked in the comments? No. He calls himself Willie Bollocks, the brother of Billy Bollocks.
Mate, I just love the world. The world makes me laugh. Like, let's be fair. When I go to bed in a minute, I'm going to put on some Netflix. I'm not going to give a shit about Spurs. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. And then I'll wake up tomorrow I'm sure you do still, to just a mountain of abuse. And so much of it I look at. And the first thing, do you know, I've got to the stage, you know, what I think of it still? I've realized that all the people that are abusive really can't spell. They're very illiterate. They get so many swear words and so much of their grammar wrong that I just think, I've got an illiterate person calling my wife a whore.
I just, you know what? I don't get angry with them anymore. I mean, if they're in the chat, I don't get angry anymore because I just feel sorry for them. Because just think about it. What's the time now, right? It's 1 a.m, and in your life at 1 a.m, you want to dedicate being up at this time and giving energy and time and effort to saying something horrible like that. It's like, what is going on in your life for you to do that? Like that is pretty fucked.
Do you know what I never understand still is I always say to people, right?
I need help.
I always say to people, look, people
sad.
have to remember that YouTube is free. YouTube is a free commodity for people. And what YouTubers do, whether you like them or not, is they provide a platform for people to come on and chat football and debate. Just football for us, but for other people, it's different subjects. I don't get it. If I see a channel go live that I don't like, first of all, I don't have alerts set for many channels. Second of all, if YouTube does recommend to me a channel that I don't like, I'm not going to name names. I just go, oh, they're live. I don't go into their channel and go, your wife, I just don't understand it. Like, imagine having the energy and that much hate inside you. And my wife would knock the shit out of that person. Let me tell you that.
I feel sorry for them, man. They're troubled. They're genuinely troubled. So it is what it is. Listen, guys, whether you're Willy Bollocks, Billy Bollocks, Johnny Bollocks, or Silly Bollocks.
All the bollocks, go to bed.
Yes, all the bollocks. Good night. God bless. Listen, guys, we'll see you at some point tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, whatever. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. We're out of here. Bye-bye.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.